A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Easy Aces.
Johnny's wife, Alice, and his sister, Jane Eighth, are on their way to save Johnny from getting into trouble. They don't know that Johnny has joined up with some crooked employees at his father-in-law's warehouse in order to trap them in the act of stealing valuable furs. He tipped off a detective, and everything's arranged for the big raid tonight unless something happens to tip off the crooks. We pick up Jane and Alice in the car on the way to the warehouse. Listen.
Jane, I suddenly become very panicky.
What?
I'm frightened. I don't know what we're going to find or what we're going to do. Here, you better take the wheel and drive.
All right.
I'll stop here. I don't know what's come over me.
Oh, Alice, don't be like that. Here, move over here and just relax. There, I'll drive now. You'll have to show me where to go, though, because I've never been down by the warehouse.
I'll show you.
All right. Now, just sit back. I'll do everything.
I don't know why I got so panicky all of a sudden.
Well, don't worry about it.
I can't help but worry. These 2 past weeks have been torture to me.
Oh, stop it, Alice. Why, look at you. You're shaking like a thief. You just leave everything to me. I'll know what to do.
Well, what? What are we going to do? We should have formed some sort of a plan, or maybe you were right about taking Mr. Ace with us.
Well, I wanted to, but you said no. Now we have to do the best we can. I'll think of something on the spur of the moment. Oh, I know what. First we'll ask them if Johnny's there.
He's not there. He's home. I told you I overheard him say that he won't be there until 11.
Oh, you're sure dumb, Alice. I know he's not there. Don't you see through it? Well, if I fooled you, I can certainly fool them.
Who?
I don't know. Whoever is there that Johnny's been getting into trouble with. You said he's getting into trouble. You said your woman's tuition told you that he's getting...
I know he is. I just feel it. But what is it? What?
That's what we have to find out.
Oh, let's turn back.
Turn back? Why, that's out of our way, isn't it?
Let's not go, Jane. After all, 2 girls alone down in that lonely warehouse district.
Well, I'm not afraid, I think. No, we started it and we're going to finish it. Now, let's think of what we'll say when they say Johnny's not there. Oh, I know. We'll say that he has to come right home when he does come because his wife is very sick. You see, we won't tell him that you're his wife. I'll say you're my sister. Yes, that's it, my sister. We're about the same size. Then I'll ask him if we can wait and take Johnny back with us. And then if he says yes...
No, but suppose they're not that easy to talk to. Suppose they're a gang.
Underground characters, you mean? Do you think Johnny's mixed up with
He
them?
might be. I don't know. All I know is that he took a job in Father's store in the fur department.
The fur department? Well, do they have furs in the warehouse, too?
Well, I imagine they do. I've never been there.
Oh, I hope they do. I'm crazy about furs. I've always wanted a new mink coat ever since I can remember. Oh, do you think they let us see someone?
There's no time to talk about that, Jane.
Oh, yes. Now, where were we? Oh, well, you were saying suppose they're underground characters. Well, suppose they're not. We don't know who they are. Oh, look at me in that mirror. If I don't look a sight. Oh, I left my bag home. Have you got some powder?
Yes, I think so.
Well, let me powder up a little. Here, hold the wheel. You drive for a few seconds. Well, move over close and hold it.
All right.
Is this the powder here?
Yes.
I'll only be a second. I'm so shiny.
Hurry, Jane. I'm so nervous I can hardly think
I
I'm
am. Now, just a second now.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
Well, we got lots of time before Johnny gets there. Are we nearly there?
Yes, just a few blocks yet.
There, now, that's much better, isn't it? I'll drive now. Thank you.
There's some lipstick there, too, if you want it.
Oh, can I? Thanks.
Here.
Oh, well, thanks, Alice. I didn't think I was going out tonight, so I didn't bother by getting...
Jane, look where you're driving. We nearly hit that
I
car.
thought you were driving. Oh, Alice, we're going to have to make up our mind who's driving. That's the least we can do.
Please take the wheel, Jane.
Well, I will. I thought you were holding it while I put on the lipstick.
Turn down there.
Oh, right here?
That's it.
Gee, it's dark here.
This is the warehouse district. It's so lonely here. Why, Johnny insists on coming here every night is more than I can...
Well, don't worry. We're going to find out everything. Now, don't worry about anything. Just let me do the talking.
There it is, on your left.
Oh, yes. Everett's Warehouse. Oh, it's your name on it and everything.
Yes. Now what?
Well, we'll just park the car here. We don't want to get too close. How's this here?
This is all right.
Now, don't make too much noise getting out. You get out first. Go ahead, Alice.
I am. Oh, I'm so nervous.
Don't be so nervous. Look at me. You haven't anything to worry about. I'm the one that's going to do all the talking. I guess it's right up these stairs. Yeah. The door is open.
I don't know what we're getting into, Jane.
Into the warehouse. Come on, right through here. Oh, there's no light.
Let's walk slowly.
Well, give me your hand. Now, remember, you're my sister. Isn't it dark here? It's behind me how they can sell fur coats in a place like this. It's awfully dark.
I can't see my hand in front of my face.
Oh, what do you want to see your hand for? You've seen your hand.
Oh, what was that?
What?
Don't you feel something staring at you?
Well, just stare right back. Don't let it make you self-conscious.
Oh, if we could only see where we're going.
Well, give me your hand. Don't let go.
Here.
Where is it?
Here, right here, Jane.
Well, reach it out.
I am.
Well, which hand is it? Your right or your left, or can you see?
I can't see a thing.
Oh, what was that?
My hand.
Oh, hello, Alice.
Who's there?
Beg pardon?
What do you want here?
Oh, well, we'd like to see something nice in a fur coat, please.
Jane, I'm frightened.
Who are you?
I can't see anybody. Can you, Alice?
We guess better go back, Jane.
What do you want here?
Well, we came for Johnny.
Johnny? There ain't nobody here by that name.
Oh, he's not here yet.
Who are you?
Well, I'm his sister.
His sister?
Uh-huh.
Who's that other thing?
Oh, she's my wife. I mean, she's here. Oh, we're both his sisters. We wanted to tell Johnny to come right home because his wife...
What's going on, Tom?
I found these two dames walking around here.
What? Can you see?
Well, we can't see either. Why don't you turn on a light so we can see?
Turn on that nightlight, buddy. I got 'em covered.
Oh, Jane, we better go.
Oh, that's it. Oh, is that a gun?
I'll say it is. And you better stand where you are.
Who are you two looking for?
For Johnny.
Who's Johnny?
Johnny Sherwood. He's my brother. Well, he's her brother, too, because we're sisters. We wanted to tell him...
There ain't nobody here named Johnny. You must have the wrong place. This is the Everett Warehouse.
Oh, yes, this is the place. If Johnny's not here yet, we'll just wait.
But there isn't anybody here named Johnny Sherwood. You better beat it, you two, because...
Wait a minute, boy. What kind of a looking guy is Johnny?
What kind? Well, he's tall, and he has very nice teeth, and he's the keenest dancer that
Is he sort of dark looking?
Yes.
Tall as Buddy here?
Buddy?
Yeah, this is Buddy.
Oh, how do you do? Yes, he's just as tall as Buddy.
Slim? And very black hair?
Yes, that's about
Joe.
Beg pardon?
You said it, it's Joe. I thought that guy was a phony.
Jane, we better go before...
Wait a minute, sister.
No, I'm his sister. She's here. Oh, I mean, yes, that's right.
This sounds kind of screwy to me.
You said it, it's screwy. If that guy's double-crossed us...
We better beat it.
No, we don't. Come on in here, you two.
Where are you taking us?
Right in here. Come on. Take that little one, buddy.
Okay. Move on, lady.
I am, but don't push me. Where are we going? I'm not going in.
Right in here.
Oh, is this your office? It sure is small.
Okay, sit down. Now, what's on your mind? What do you dames want here?
Well, we just came in to wait for my brother.
How do you know he'd be here?
Well, we knew he was going to be here later.
Oh, then you knew he wasn't here when you first came in, but you said you wanted to talk to him. How come?
Well, you caught me that time.
Say, I wasn't born yesterday.
Oh, my birthday's October 12th.
What's going on here?
Well, here's the whole thing in the shell hole. We want to
What's that?
What?
What are you dames talking about?
About Johnny. We don't want him to get into any trouble, and he won't either if I can...
Then he tipped us off. We better get out of here.
Oh, come on. Pull that door shut.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. You can't go away and leave us sitting here like this.
Sit down there.
Don't push me.
Jane, I'm frightened.
Lock that door. If there's going to be any coppers here tonight, they're going to find these two dames and nothing else, even if we can't take them first.
Okay, Tom. Let's beat it.
Wait a minute. You can't leave us dames sitting here like this. Open that door. Open it up.
They're gone.
Oh, shoot.
I told you we should have turned back.
Oh, you're going to be one of those I'll-say-sos, are you?
Well, what are we going to do now?
I don't know. I've never been locked up in an office before. Oh, once our front door locked when I went out to get the paper in my pajamas, but Mr. Ace finally opened the door and let
Joe. That's the name he was using to work here.
Joe?
Yes, you heard them calling Joe and something about being double-crossed.
Oh, both of them were. I never saw anybody as
What
mad.
are we going to do? We can't just sit here.
Well, we can't get out. I'll try the door again with all my strength. Oh, it's no use. They locked it very tight.
What's to become of Johnny?
Joe, you mean?
Joe?
Well, you said they called him Joe.
Listen.
What? Now, don't jump like that.
Listen, they're coming back.
They are? Yes, I hear them.
Open up in there. Come out quietly, one at a time.
Beg pardon?
Who's for it? Wait a minute. Do you think they ran in some women on this? Just a minute. Let me handle it. Open up in there before somebody's shot.
Shot? Well, we haven't any gun. We can't open the door. It's locked from the outside.
Jane, is that you?
Johnny.
Alice. It's my wife, Mr. Carter. Your wife? Yes. Alice, is that you?
Oh, Johnny.
Hey, what is it? Come on, help me, Mr. Carter. Help me open this quick. Alice, honey.
Oh, Johnny. Johnny, are you all right?
Oh, my dear, what are you doing here? And Jane?
Joe.
What? Joe? Who's Joe?
Johnny, we came down to try to make you give up this awful thing. You get into trouble. Please, Johnny.
But, Alice, I'm in no
Oh,
trouble.
Johnny, please. I won't tell Father. I'll forget everything if
but,
only...
honey, I'm helping catch a bunch of thieves.
That reminds me. The ladies had better leave before the gang gets here.
Oh, yes, you better go, Alice. You too, Jane. We've got work to do.
They've gone, Johnny.
What?
You mean they tipped them off? The whole thing's spoiled.
Oh, honey, why did you do it?
They didn't take anything. The furs are still here.
Oh, who cares about the furs? I wanted to catch the crooks.
But as long as the furs are
But I
safe...
tell you, I
Oh,
wanted
you're
to...
making a mountain out of a moleskin. As long as the furs are safe, everything is all right.
Well, at least they saved the furs, even if Johnny didn't capture the thieves themselves. We learn more details when next we meet the Easy Aces.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, Hostess by Isaac Asimov.
I was so happy about it when I came home, almost triumphant. I dashed in the front door, peeled off my gloves, threw my hat on the side table, and tossed my coat over the back of a chair.
Well, you missed supper.
Drake, we're going to have him here.
Who here? What are you talking
The
about?
doctor from Hawkins Planet. Didn't you realize that was what today's conference was about?
When you say the doctor from Hawkins Planet, do you mean the Hawkins site you've got at the Institute?
Well, of course. Who else could I possibly mean?
May I ask what the devil you mean by saying we'll have him here?
Darling, the Hawkinsite would like to stay at a private house somewhere where he won't be bothered with official ceremony, where he'll be able to proceed more according to his own likes and dislikes. I find it quite understandable.
Whenever you start using formal sentences, I know you're hiding extreme irritation.
Well, you don't seem to be trying to hide it at all. Well, what's the matter?
Look, I don't see where we've got room for extraterrestrial visitors.
Are you serious? He can stay in the spare room. Honestly, Drake, all we have to do is show a certain amount of adaptability.
Sure, just a little adaptability. The Hawkinside breathes cyanide. We'll just adapt ourselves to that, I suppose.
He carries cyanide in a little cylinder. You won't even notice it.
Mm-hmm. And what else is there about them I won't notice?
Nothing else. They're perfectly harmless. They're even vegetarians.
But what about us? Do we eat meat ourselves, or will that make us look like cannibals to him? I won't live on salads to suit him, I warn you.
Drake, it means very much to me.
Well, why?
Because if he stays here for any length of time, I can study him real closely. Very little work has been done on the biology and psychology of the individual Hawkinside or of any of the extraterrestrial intelligences. Surely you must see the opportunity. He stays here. We speak to him, watch him, observe his habits.
Look, I've spoken to men who are in charge of security groups watching various Hawkinside missions on Earth. The missions stay in the rooms assigned to them, and they don't leave for anything but the most important official business. They have nothing to do with Earthmen. It's quite obvious that they're as revolted by us as I personally am by them.
Drake, he's a doctor. He's coming here for medical research, and I'll grant you that he probably doesn't enjoy staying with human beings and will probably find us perfectly horrible. But he must stay just the same.
All right. Have it your own way. You sure you don't want any coffee?
No. Drake, you're not angry about this, are you?
No, I'm not angry.
Most of my friends had been surprised when I married Drake because they couldn't understand my marrying a policeman. I explained he wasn't simply a policeman. He was a member of the World Security Board, but most of the staff at the Institute thought it rather odd that I hadn't married a biologist or at least an anthropologist, even a chemist, but certainly not a policeman. I was waiting for Drake with some apprehension that evening as I sat in the living room. Hark Tolan, the Hawkinside, was standing quietly in the middle of the room. He was not sitting since he was not anatomically constructed to sit. He stood on two sets of limbs placed close together, while a third pair, entirely different in their construction, were suspended from a region that would have been the upper chest in the human being. His skin was hard, glistening, and ridged, and his face wore a distant resemblance to something alienly bovine.
Mrs. Smollett, you must forgive my English. The construction of my mouth, combined with the absence of incisors and canine teeth, is an obstacle to clear speech.
I think you speak very well.
Thank you.
My husband will be home soon, and then we'll eat.
Your husband?
Husband? Yes, you know. Mr. Smollett.
A male, of course. You must forgive me, Mrs. Smollett. Perhaps the greatest source of confusion among the 5 known races of the galaxy lies in the differences among them in regard to their sex life and the social institutions that grow around it.
I understand that.
The concept of husband and wife, for instance, exists only on Earth. I can achieve a sort of intellectual understanding of what that means, never an emotional one.
Dr. Tolan, I've consulted the Institute in preparing a menu, and I trust you'll find nothing in it that will upset you. Drake? Drake, is that you?
Yeah.
I'm in the living room, dear.
I suppose he's all delivered, complete.
Drake, this is Dr. Hark Tolan of Hawkins Planet. Dr. Tolan, my husband.
Good evening, Dr. Tolan.
Mr. Smollett?
Would you care for a drink?
I'm not particularly thirsty.
On Earth, there's a custom of drinking liquids which have been fortified with ethyl alcohol. We find it stimulating.
Oh, yes. I'm afraid, then, that I must decline. Ethyl alcohol would interfere most unpleasantly with my metabolism.
Well, so it does to Earthmen, too. But I understand, Dr. Tolan. Would you object to my drinking?
Of course not.
Good. I need one. A stiff one.
He stood at the table. I tried not to look at him as he ate. His wide, lipless mouth split his face alarmingly as he ingested food, and in chewing, his large jaws moved from side to side. There was evidence of his ungulate ancestry. I found myself wondering whether he would chew his cud later, and then I was afraid that Drake would get the same idea and leave the table in disgust, but he was taking everything quite calmly.
I imagine, Dr. Tolan, that the cylinder at your side holds cyanide.
Quite so.
Pure cyanide?
I hope you are not considering possible danger. I know the gas is highly poisonous to you, and I do not need a great deal. None of it emerges, except when I actually suck at the tube, which is fixed at the corner of my mouth.
I see. And you really must have the gas to live?
Are you not a biologist, Mr. Smollett?
No, Dr. Tolan. It's merely a minor government official. My wife's friends call me a policeman. Tell me, what happens if you don't breathe cyanide? Do you, just go like that?
Oh, not quite. The absence of it would be equivalent to slow strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
It's also very painful, difficult to treat. I've done some research on the problem.
I find it difficult to keep thinking of you as a doctor.
I understand what you mean. I find it difficult to think of you as a policeman.
I gather that you're not here on a pleasure trip. Huh?
No. I intend to study this queer planet you call Earth.
Queer? In what way?
It's always amazing to me to find how little you Earthmen understand your own characteristics. There are 5 intelligent races in the galaxy. Over and over, it is you Earthmen, more than any of the others, who are unique. Your people are the only ones which find hydrogen cyanide poisonous. Yours is the only form of intelligent life which is carnivorous. Yours is the only form of life which has not developed from the grazing animal. And most interesting of all, yours is the only form of intelligent life known which stops growing upon reaching maturity.
Well, you don't look very large, Dr. Tolan. I should say that you're an inch taller than I, which would make you 6'2". Are you young, or are you just small on Hawkins' planet?
Neither. We grow at a diminishing rate with the years, so that at my age it would take 15 years to grow an additional inch. But we never entirely stop. And, of course, as a consequence, we never entirely die.
Did you hear that, Rose?
I never knew that before.
You mean people on Hawkins' planet are immortal?
No people are truly immortal. Few of us live more than several centuries of your time. Still, it is unpleasant to think that death may come involuntarily. It is something which to us is extremely horrible.
Oh, we're quite used to it.
You Earthmen live with the thought. We do not. This is why we are disturbed to find that the incidence of inhibition death has been increasing in recent years.
What is this inhibition death?
A pathological cessation of growth. It's a wasting disease. A tragic one. And absolutely incurable. It's fatal within a year.
What causes it?
Mr. Smollett, we know nothing about the cause of the disease.
Well, then why did you come to Earth to study it?
Because, again, Earthmen are unique. They are the only intelligent beings who are immune. The inhibition death affects all other races, while Earthmen are immune. Somewhere in the biochemistry of the Earthite, there is the secret of that immunity. How interesting it would be to find it.
Well, now, look here. You can't say that Earthmen are immune. From where I sit, it looks as if the incidence is 100%. All Earthmen stop growing, and all Earthmen die. We've all got the inhibition death.
Earthmen live up to 70 years after the cessation of growth. That is not death as we know it. Your equivalent disease is rather one of unrestrained growth. Cancer, you call it.
Drake was being pleasant to Dr. Tolan. I wasn't sure whether it was for my sake or for his own. Drake has never gone out of his way to please me. Sometimes when I'm gloomy, I look at him across the table and ask myself, why did he marry me? And suddenly, after dinner in the living room, Dr. Tolan asked a question which surprised me.
You are a policeman, Mr. Smollett?
Yes.
I wonder, could you show me through one of the police departments on your planet?
Well, I don't belong to a police department in exactly the way you imagine. However, I have some contacts in the New York City Department.
Would I be able to visit the Missing Persons Bureau?
Why are you interested in the Missing Persons Bureau?
Because there again, you are unique. There's no such thing as a missing person on our planet. We're always aware of each other's exact location, no matter where on the planet we might be.
Can you feel such awareness even now, on Earth?
You mean across space? No, I'm afraid not. But you see the importance of the matter. All the uniqueness of Earth should be linked. If the lack of this sense can be explained, perhaps the immunity to inhibition death can be also. Tell me truthfully, Mr. Smollett, if Mrs. Smollett were to leave this room and enter another without your having seen her do so, would you really not be aware of her location?
I really would not.
Amazing. Please do not be offended by the fact that I find it revolting as well.
Drake.
Yes, I'm awake.
Why were you talking about the inhibition death to Dr. Tolan?
I'm taking an interest in your work, Rose. You've always wanted me to take an interest.
I'd rather you weren't sarcastic.
Rose, I'm tired. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, right now.
I want no questions from you and no interference. You do your job and I'll do mine.
The nature of my job is open and known.
The nature of my job isn't, by definition, but I'll tell you this. Our six-legged friend is here in this house for some definite reason. You weren't picked as biologist in charge for any random reason. 2 days ago, he'd been inquiring about me at the commission. But that's my job, and I won't discuss it with you any further. Do you understand?
No. But I won't question you if you don't want me to.
All right, then go to sleep.
I lay stiffly on my back, and the minutes passed and the quarter hours. I was trying to fit the pieces together. One picture remained clear in my mind. It hovered over me mockingly. At the end of the evening, the Hawkinsite had turned to me just before he left the room.
Good night, Mrs. Smollett. You're a most charming hostess.
I wanted to giggle then. How could he call me a charming hostess? To him, I must have been a horror, a monstrosity with too few limbs and too narrow a face. But then I saw Drake. He turned white. For one instant, his eyes had burned with something that looked like terror. I'd never before known Drake to show fear of anything. And the picture of that instant of pure panic remained with me until all my thoughts finally sagged into the oblivion of sleep. I remember one question that nagged at me through the haze. Why did he marry me?
I found your Missing Persons Bureau interesting in that the large majority of missing persons are males.
Oh, well, that's not mysterious, Dr. Tolan. You simply didn't realize the economic setup we have on Earth.
My wife is an example of the minority of women who are capable of making their own way in the world.
Would you call the Missing Persons Bureau of New York a fair sampling of such cases in the planet at large?
Yes, I should think so.
Is there then an economic explanation for the fact that since interstellar travel has been developed, the percentage of young males among the missing is more pronounced than ever?
Well, that's even less of a mystery than the other. Nowadays, a runaway can hop the nearest space freighter. They're always looking for crewmen. No questions asked.
It's almost always young men in their first year of marriage.
Well, that's just the time a man's troubles seem the greatest. If he survives the first year, there's usually no need to disappear at all.
Would it offend you if I disconnected for a period of time?
Disconnected?
It's like sleep.
Oh.
I hope you haven't had too exhausting a day.
It's just that I've been absorbing so many new and unusual concepts that I feel a desire for a little disconnection.
Drake, we've been sitting here for 10 minutes. Aren't you going to speak to me?
About what?
Last night you said you'd speak to me tomorrow. Well, I'm ready now.
I thought it was agreed that you wouldn't question me about my business in this matter.
I think it's too late for that. I know too much about your business by now.
What? What do you mean?
Drake, let go of my arm.
What are you talking about?
Dr. Tolan thinks that Earth is spreading the inhibition death purposely. That's it, isn't it?
Where did you get that idea?
It's true, isn't it?
I want to know exactly why you say that. Don't play games with me, Rose. This is for keeps.
Why don't you ask Dr. Tolan? He's an outstanding worker in the field. I looked over his papers this afternoon.
And what are his theories about the origin of the disease? Try to remember, Rose.
I think he blames Earth, but I think he admits they know nothing about how the disease is spread.
Well, I'll find out about this right now.
Drake, what are you going to do? What's that?
It's my gun. I'm going to ask him a few questions.
He ran out of the bedroom, down the corridor towards Dr. Tolan's room. I ran after him, caught him just as he entered the door. The Hawkinsite was standing there, motionless, his eyes unfocused, his 4 standing limbs sprawled out in 4 directions as far as they would go.
Now keep quiet. He'll gradually become aware of me. Get out of here.
No, Drake. What are you doing?
Quiet. There, you see? The skin on his face is beginning to quiver. Well, that's about all, Dr. Tolan. Don't throw in connection with any of the limbs. Your sense organs and the voice box will be quite enough.
Why do you invade my disconnection chamber? And why are you armed? What do you want?
The answer to certain questions.
With a gun in your hand? Sorry, Mr. Smollett, that the duties toward a guest are so badly understood on Earth.
You're no guest of mine, Dr. Tolan. You entered my home under false pretenses.
You had better shoot. It will save time.
You are convinced that you'll answer no questions? Well, that in itself is suspicious. It seems that you consider certain answers to be more important than your life.
I consider the principle of courtesy to be very important. You as an Earthman may not understand.
Perhaps not. But I can understand one thing. Your cyanide cylinder. Suppose I... Pull it out of your mouth. Rose, hold your breath until I close the valve. There. All right, Tolan. You realize what will happen to you if you don't answer the questions I'm going to ask you. Cyanide lack. It would be a most uncomfortable death. I'm only an Earthman. I can't appreciate its true horrors, but you can, can't you?
Drake, give him the cylinder. Give it back to him.
You have about 1 hour, I think, until the effects are irreversible. Talk quickly, Dr. Tolan. You'll have your cyanide cylinder back.
What are your questions?
What are your theories concerning the inhibition death? Why did you really come to Earth? What is your interest in the Missing Persons Bureau?
For years, I have been investigating the cell structure of my patients suffering from inhibition death. I've been forced to use the utmost secrecy, since the methods I used were frowned on by my people. Your society would have similar feelings against human vivisection, for instance. For this reason, I could not present the results I obtained to my fellow physicians until I had verified my theories here on Earth.
And what are they?
The inhibition death is entirely a disease of the mind.
You mean it's psychosomatic?
No, Miss Smollett, it is not psychosomatic. It is a true disease of the mind, a mental infection. My patients had double minds. Beyond and beneath the one that obviously belonged to them, there was evidence of another one, an alien mind. In short, there are not only 5 intelligences in the galaxy, but 6. And the 6th is parasitic.
This is impossible. You must be mistaken, Dr. Tolan.
No, I'm not mistaken. One can imagine such a parasite through the course of millions of years, perhaps losing all portions of its physical being. It will become nothing but pure mind, living in some mental fashion we cannot conceive of on the minds of others, particularly on the minds of Earthmen.
Why particularly Earthmen?
Have you not surmised that the 6th intelligence is a native of Earth? Mankind from the beginning has lived with it, has adapted to it, is unconscious of it. It is why the higher species of terrestrial animals, including man, do not grow after maturity and eventually die. And it is what is called natural death. It is the result of this universal parasitic infestation. Where Earthmen could survive the infection for decades with little harm, we others die a quick death within a year. Give me back my cylinder. You have your answer.
What about the Missing Persons Bureau?
Drake, look at his eyes. Give it back to him.
As we are not well adapted to the intelligence that infests man, neither is it well adapted to us. It can live on us, but it cannot reproduce, with ourselves alone as the source of its life. The inhibition death is therefore not directly contagious among our people.
What are you implying, Dr. Tolan?
The Earthman remains the prime host for the parasite, and an Earthman may infect one of us if he remains among us. But the parasite, once it is located in an intelligence of the outer worlds, must somehow return to an Earthman if it expects to reproduce. We are infected and reinfected as the parasites return to Earth and come back to us via the mind of Earthmen. who travel through space.
And the missing persons?
Are the intermediate hosts. The masculine terrestrial mind seems better suited for their purpose. But once reproduction has been taken care of, the infested male leaves by spaceship for the outer worlds. He disappears.
But this is impossible. What you say implies that the parasite mind can control the actions of its host. That can't be, or we would have noticed their presence here on Earth.
The control may be very subtle, may moreover be exerted only during the period of active reproduction. I simply point to your Missing Persons Bureau. Why do the young men disappear? I'm quite ill now, cyanide lack, and I cannot speak much longer.
And you alone, of all your people, have any knowledge of this theory of yours?
I alone. You will give me back my cyanide cylinder now. I've become quite weak.
Sure. Sure, Dr. Tolan. Rose.
No!
Rose, come out of here. Come on now. Come on.
He's dead. He's dead. You shot
Outside.
him.
Out. Quiet, Rose. Quiet. I told you to have nothing to do with this.
Let me go. I want to go. I want to go.
Why? Because of something it was my job to do? You heard what that creature was saying. You suppose I could allow him to return to his world and spread those lies? They'd believe him. What do you think would happen then? They would have to kill us all to stop that disease.
What he said wasn't a lie. It was true.
Oh, come on. Now you're hysterical. You need sleep.
I know what he said was true because the Security Commission knows all about the same theory and knows it's true.
Why do you say a thing like that?
Because you let it slip yourself.
Now sit down. Sit down. Well, so I gave myself away, did I? When?
You turned white when Hark Tolan referred to me as a charming hostess. Hostess has a double meaning, Drake. A host is one who harbors a parasite.
Well, I had no idea I was so transparent. Look, Rose, I've done my best to keep you out of this.
The truth can't be held down forever. Somebody else will find out. You can't kill them all.
We know that, too. We have no choice.
Why? Why can't we combine with the other intelligences and wipe out the parasite?
No, you don't understand. Hark Tolan was right. Man and his prehistoric ancestors have been living with this parasitic intelligence for uncounted ages. We've not only become adapted to it, we've become dependent on it. It is no longer a case of parasitism. It's a case of mutual cooperation. You biologists have a name for it.
What are you talking about? Symbiosis?
Yes, exactly. We have a disease of our own, remember? It is a reverse disease, one of unrestrained growth. We've mentioned it already as a contrast to inhibition death. It's all very well to say that if we could remove the parasite, we would have eternal growth in life. But it's impossible for us. If for any reason the parasitic intelligence, as Hark Tolan calls it, does leave the human body, or if its relationship to the human mind is in any way impaired, growth does take place, but not in an orderly fashion. We call the growth cancer, and there you have it. There's no way of getting rid of the parasite. We're together for all eternity. To get rid of their inhibition death, extraterrestrials must first wipe out all vertebrate life on Earth. There is no other solution for them. So we must keep knowledge of it from them. Now do you understand?
He got the body out of the apartment. I sat there numbly. He lied to me. Cancer could not be a disease that was an expression of lost ability for normal growth. Cancer attacked children while they were still growing. It could even attack embryonic tissue. Cancer had nothing to do with the presence or absence of normal growth. Its absence would not cause cancer. Drake lied, but no one would believe me. The young men who disappeared were usually in the first year of their marriage. Whatever the process of reproduction of the parasite intelligence was, it must involve close association with another parasite. The type of close and continuous association, as in the case of newly married couples. The parasite could control actions. I'd report them both, Drake Smollett and Hark Tolan, to the Missing Persons Bureau. But they'd never find them, for they'd be out in space.
I wanted to weep, but I couldn't. I was dry-eyed, and it was painful. I'd looked for the answers to so many questions, and I'd found them all. I even found the answer to the question I thought had no bearing on the subject. I finally learned why Drake had married me.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production. Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Reluctant Heroes by Frank M. Robinson. Only Chapman was awake. The others sprawled on bunks 20 inches wide with clearance of 24 inches between layers. They breathed heavily, taking in air that had been breathed for 18 months, subject to certain modifications to remove carbon dioxide and replenish oxygen by the catalytic action of the Harcourt King unit on silicon dioxide. Outside the single quartzite port, the lunar dawn was breaking. The dead black shadows moved across the crater as the green haze of Earthlight gave way to the blinding white of the sun. The telegraph key, which linked the research bunker to the space station in orbit around Earth, chattered as Chapman copied the message into the log pad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In a pig's eye. Miserable, no good.
What do they want?
They want me to stay until the next relief ship lands. Go back to sleep.
It's my turn for breakfast. You gonna stay?
Sure. 3 years on the moon, they figure I'll be glad to stay for more. Just raise my salary or give me a bonus.
Every man has his price.
Mm-hmm. They probably figure I like it here.
Chapman, you found a home here on the moon.
Sure. Canned coffee, canned beans, canned pills, and canned air till your insides feel like they're plated with tin. The little scientific home of tomorrow. 10 steps in any direction. A charming place where you can't take a shower, you can't brush your teeth, and your insides don't even work right.
Why did you tell him?
No.
You kept it short.
Check the oxy cycle before you turn on the stove.
What's the matter? You sore or something, Chapman?
Why shouldn't I be?
All I'm trying to do is get a good man to stay on the job a while longer.
Well, they got a fat chance.
They figure you found a home here, right, Dole?
Why don't you guys shut up till morning? Some of us have to stay here, you know. Some of us aren't going back today.
All right. You might as well get up and get a day's work today before the relief rockets do. I got the coffee ready.
Coffee? Been in a can so long I can taste the glue on the label.
don't they send up an oil can? These elbow joints make me feel like the Tin Woodman in the Wizard of Oz.
You can't lubricate vacuum seal joinings. Let it squeak. At least it doesn't leak air.
Get that back, that Doug, for me, will you, Donnelly?
Lean over, you fat slob. You put on 3 more pounds, you won't get off the moon. You won't get through the airlock.
Yeah. Hey, chap, do you think we ought to radio the space station and see if they've left there yet?
I talked to them on the last call. The relief ship left 12 hours ago. They should get here in about 6.5 hours.
Chap, you know what I'm thinking? You've been here twice as long as the rest of us. What's the first thing you're going to do once you get back?
I don't know. I guess I was trying not to think about that.
I haven't been here 3 years like you have, but I've got plans. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to rent a room in a Hotel Astor over Times Square and just sit at the window and watch the people on the street. And I think I'll see somebody.
What somebody?
Oh, just somebody. What are you going to do, Donnelly?
Well, I'm going to do something practical. First of all, I'm going to turn over my geological samples to the government. Then I'm going to sell my life story to the movies. And I think I'll get drunk.
How about you, Julius?
Well, first, I'll get rid of my allocations to the expedition. Then I think I'll go home and see my wife. Then I'll take off my spacesuit.
I thought all members of the groups were supposed to be single.
They are, and I can see the reasons for it, but who could pass up the money the commission was paying?
If I had to do it all over again, me.
Hand me a fishbowl.
You know, chap, it won't seem like the same old moon without you on it. Like they say in the Army, you never had it so good. You found a home here.
All right, button up. And remember to check your suits for leaks and check the valves of your oxygen tanks.
I've gone out at least 500 times. You've checked me every time.
And I'd check you 500 more. It only takes one mistake. And watch out for blisters under the pumice crust. You go through one of those, and that's it, brother.
Okay, I'll check.
Fine. I never knew you were married.
There wasn't much sense in talking about it. You just get to thinking, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you talk about it, it just makes it worse.
She let you go without any fuss,
No, she didn't make any fuss. I don't think she'd like to see me go either. At least I hope she didn't. You got a girl back home?
Yes.
No, you never mentioned that either.
For the same reason you didn't mention your wife. You get to thinking about it.
You got to get married when you get back?
Yeah.
Hurry up, will you, Klein? I'm sweating. Somebody ought to build in underarm sprays and spacesuits.
Chap, why does somebody have to stay here for stopover?
Lots of reasons. You can't get a whole relief crew and let them take over cold. They have to know where things are, how things work, what to watch out for. Then, because you've been here for 1.5 years and you know the ropes, you have to watch them to see that they stay alive in spite of themselves.
Why was it you on the first trip? You're not a scientist.
No, I was the pilot on the first ship. When it occurred to us that someone was going to have to stay over, I volunteered. I thought the others were so important that it was better they take their samples and data back to Earth when the first relief ship came.
You wouldn't do it again, though, would you?
No.
You think Dole will do as good a job as you did?
He volunteered.
Yeah, he volunteered because he thought it would make him look like a hero.
I've lost 3 years up here, and I don't intend to lose any more.
Okay.
Check your valve.
All right, check.
I checked Geiger, CR, oxy, and scintilla readings. Everything okay. You packing, chap?
Yeah. Oh, listen, Dole, I've got 3 or 4 shirts here that are a little too big. I got them from Dreisbach in the first group. You want them?
Chap, do you think they'll ever have relief ships up here more often than 18 months? I mean, considering the advance
No, I don't. Not for 10 years. Fuel's too expensive and the trip's too hazardous. Why, on freight charges alone, you're worth your weight in platinum when they send you up here. Won't be so bad. There'll be new men up here. You'll pass a lot of time just getting to know them.
Yeah. Listen, chap, I'm engaged back home, you know. Nice girl. You'd like her if you knew her. Here, let me show you. This is a picture of Alice taken at a picnic when we were together.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's a kind of bad angle because she's really got a better figure than that. But, well, we expected to get married when I got back. I never told her about stopover. She thinks I'll be home tomorrow. I kept thinking that somehow
You want to trade places with me, don't you? You thought I might stay for stopover again in your place.
Well, chap, I know you want to go home, but I couldn't ask any of the others. You're the only one who was qualified. Look, you know my father's pretty well fixed. Chap, we could make it worth your while. It would mean 18 more months, but they'd be well-paid months.
Forget it, Dole. You're staying and I'm going home.
Klein. Hey, Klein. Yo. Where are you?
About 10 yards off the trail.
Well, come out of the shadow.
I've got a meter jammed over here.
You know the regulations. Chapman will kick like a steer. Keep in sight at all times.
I'll only be a minute. Got a short circuit in my instrument.
Time for a 10-minute check.
I've got my hands full. My valves are all right.
I know it. You know it. But the book says valve and leak check every 10 minutes.
Hey.
Come out. What?
You see a flash?
Where?
Past Camel's Hump. There. What is that, Northern Lights?
No. No, come over here, you fat geologist.
Oh, what's the matter with you?
That's the relief rocket. Come on.
Hey, where you going?
I'm going over to the ship. Breathe some air that's a little less used.
You think we ought to? Chapman said to stay.
Forget Chapman. We're going home. I want to see that beautiful ship. Come on.
Well, how about the 10-minute check?
Just a formality. Forget it. This is Christmas and 4th of July rolled into one.
Okay, let's go. I can just taste some clean, fresh air.
Oh, yeah, I see it when we top the hump.
Well, maybe we better check. Wait a minute. I'll swing my gauge up. Donnelly.
Yeah?
How long have we been out?
Oh, about a half hour.
Yeah? Well, look at your gauge.
Well, what do you... Oh.
If we'd started for the rocket, we never would have made it. We were strangled halfway down the hump. Come on, we better get back to the bunker.
Check the lock seal.
Okay.
All right, open the inner door. Close the lock.
Get me out of this fishbowl. It's down. The relief rocket, it's down on the other side of Camel's Hump.
Oh, what a beautiful-looking ship.
What a beautiful ship. They must be on their way over here now.
Chap, they're on their way. We're going home today.
Get your RA unit out of that suit and into the dryer.
All right. Okay. What's eating you, Dole?
Listen, just because the relief rocket lands, it doesn't mean your RA unit is going to dry up by itself. That goes for you, too, Donnelly.
Okay. Hey, Chapman.
Yeah?
He's taking it pretty hard.
He volunteered.
Yeah, he volunteered.
What a beautiful, beautiful ship.
Still teaching at the university. Who took over a seminar at the AEC?
Hey, look what we got here. Chap, come here.
What's the matter?
And look what this one's got, a box.
Yeah?
Look inside. Dirt. Ordinary dirt with grass. Grass. Hey, fellas, it feels like grass.
That's right. It's real grass.
Yeah, and real valuable. Do you realize that current freight rates up here, it's worth about $10 a blade?
Oh, shut up.
Hey, bud, you mind if I chew a blade?
Mr. Chapman.
Yes?
Oh, Mr. Chapman.
My name's Eberline, captain of the relief ship. I understand you're in charge here.
Yeah, you might say so. They didn't have a captain on the first ship, just a pilot and crew. Dole, turn up the oxycycle in the Harcourt unit.
Well, things have advanced somewhat, huh? Look, Mr. Chapman, is there any place where we can talk together privately?
Well, come around the corner of my locker. It's about as private as we can get.
Oh, good.
What's on your mind?
I've always wanted to meet the man who spent more time here than anybody else.
You mind if I smoke?
You better ask Dole. He's in charge now.
Oh. You know, we have big plans for the research station here.
Oh? I haven't heard of any.
Oh, yes, big plans, big plans. They're working on unmanned open-side rockets now that can carry cargo. Sheet steel for more bunkers like this.
Mm-hmm.
Enable us to enlarge the unit. Have a series of bunkers all linked together. Make good laboratories and good living quarters for you people. Have a little privacy for a change.
Well, they could use a little privacy up here.
Oh, they could. Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, Chapman. The commission talked it over, and they'd like to see you stay. They feel if they're going to enlarge it, add more bunkers, and have more men up here, that a man of practical experience should be running things. They figure you're the only man who's capable and has had that experience.
Is that all?
Well, naturally, you'd be paid well. I don't imagine any man would like being here all the time. They're prepared to double your salary, maybe even a bonus in addition. They want you to have full charge. You'd be director of Lunar Laboratories.
Oh, a title, too.
Well, the commission said they'd be willing to consider anything else you had in mind. If it's more money...
The answer is no. I'm not interested in more money for staying because I'm not interested in staying. Money can't buy it, Captain.
Look,
I'm sorry. I'm afraid you'd have to stay up here to appreciate that.
I'm afraid you don't understand the importance of this.
Come over here to the port.
Yes?
Now look out there about 100 yards.
You mean where that mound of stones?
That's right. We made that cross out of condensed milk cans slid over iron bars. When you get out there, you can still see the footprints in the pumice where we gathered around. It's more than 18 months ago, but there's been no wind to wear those tracks away. They'll be there forever.
Oh, I see. Well, who was it? Dreisbach? Or Dixon?
Dixon. We never got Dreisbach out of the crevasse in Taco.
What happened?
You want to know? I can give it to you in detail. Sit down and listen.
Well, what do you mean?
Just wait a minute and I'll show you.
Why? What is it?
Regulations. When someone goes out alone, we have to monitor his radio, tape recorded. We had the recorder open when Dixon went out. I want you to hear it.
Well, all right.
I've got the tape right here. It's taken me a minute to thread it up.
Now, look, Chapman, you don't have
to... I want you to listen.
Moon, great big silvery moon, won't you please shine down on me, moon.
Regulations. He had to keep saying something so we know he was all right. Most of the guys just sing.
Gentlemen, I'm getting a lovely sonar reading. Hey, if anybody wants to set up a tombstone concession on the moon, this is the spot. Lovely marble, granite, and rock suitable for lobbies here. It's that old double moon that...
He should have been making a 10-minute check on his oxygen level. He was a good kid, all wrapped up in science. Being on the moon was the opportunity of a lifetime. He thought so much about it that he forgot a lot of little things, like how to stay alive. This was the day before the second group came.
All right, gentlemen. I have 3 or 4 more readings to take, and I'll be right in. I'm doing fine. Fine. Little stuffy. It's almost as if... Hey, somebody get a fix on me, huh? How far am I from the bunker? Must have sprung a leak. When did I take the last 10-minute check? How far am I? It's down to 22.
We took a fix. He was a half hour out. He couldn't
the
make
valve
that.
Closed. Listen, you gotta come out and get me. You gotta come out and get me. It's down to 22. Is somebody listening back there? Hey, is somebody listening? I figure I've got 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Listen, you can make it in 10 minutes. I'll meet you towards Campbell's Hump. I'll start now. Come and get me, you hear? Come and get me. Chapman? Are you listening, Chapman? Can you hear me? I'm running. Campbell's Hump. Hot. The heat. The RA unit's overloading. Can't dry it up. Gotta run. No use. I can't run. The unit heats up. Gauge is down to 15. I can't make it. I'm gonna sit down now. You'll find me at number 7 radiation meter, about 10 yards off the trail. I'm gonna sit down. Sit down next to a rock. Getting dizzy. Hey, remember we used to argue? Do you strangle from no oxy or pass out from CO2? Keep tuned to this channel, boys. You'll find out. It's that old devil moon that you... Oh, boy, the Earth's going around and around and around. Chap, you can't get me, can you?
We didn't have a chance by even 15 minutes. We didn't even go out. There wasn't any sense to it. Well, did you record after that? Yeah, it's on the tape, but you don't want to hear it. We've never played it back. That's why we want you to stay, Chapman. We don't want any more like Dixon. You don't get the point, Captain. I don't want to be the next Dixon. I'm going home now. But you're... Bob Dole is staying for stopover. If there's something important about the project or any changes, you better tell him before you go.
Mail call. Chap, here's one for you. Donnelly.
Yo.
Dole. Dole. Donnelly.
Yo.
Klein. Dole. Donnelly.
Yeah. Oh, boy, did I miss an opportunity. I could have had a year's subscription to the Ladies' Home Journal combined with the American Farmer, all for half price.
All right, men, all right. My departure time is an hour and a half.
Hey, my sister had twins.
Hey, chap, aren't you going to read your letter?
I read it. It's a short letter.
Is something wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. Dole.
What is it, Chap?
Get your stuff and leave with the others.
What?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about, chap? Get your bag and let's go.
I'm not going back.
Well, what's the matter with you? Did you suddenly decide you don't like the blue sky and the trees? Come on, let's go.
Look, Julius, I'm not going back. I haven't got anything to go back for.
Was it the letter?
Yeah. Dear Joe, this isn't going to be a nice letter, but I thought it best you should know before you come home.
Oh.
Isn't very original, is it? 3 years is a long time, and 250,000 miles is a long distance. You know what, Julius? She can look up in the night sky now and tell him how she was once engaged to the man in the moon. That's a real conversation piece, isn't it? Very funny. Go ahead, Dole. Get going.
You're doing a much braver thing than you may think, Mr. Chapman.
Yeah, sure.
You like the looks of the moon going away from it, Mr. Dole?
It looks a lot better this way.
I suppose you'll be glad to get home.
I'd rather not talk about it. They were kidding Chapman this morning. They said he found a home on the moon.
If we'd stayed an hour or so more, he might have changed his mind and left after all.
I'd offered him money. I didn't want to stay for stopover. I was a coward, and I offered him money to stay in my place.
Well, we're all cowards once in a while. But your offer of money had nothing to do with his staying. He stayed because he had to stay. Because we made him stay.
I don't understand.
Chapman had a lot to go home for. He was engaged to be married.
I know.
We got her to write him a letter breaking it off. We knew that it meant that he'd lost one of his main reasons for wanting to go back. I think perhaps he still would have left if we'd stayed and argued him into going. But we left before he could change his mind.
That was a lousy thing to do.
We had no choice. We didn't use it except as a last resort.
I don't know of any girl who would have written such a letter if she was really in love with a guy like Chapman. No matter what your reasons.
There was only one girl who would have. Ginny Dixon. You see, Chapman's girl was Dixon's sister. She understood what we were trying to tell her. That the new shift had to be safe. That there had to be someone who had to take over and keep those boys alive. She understood that. Because her brother died up there.
You mean he's the only one? I couldn't have done the job?
Oh, look, Dole. Chapman knows how to live on the moon. He's like a trapper who spent all his time in the forest. He knows it like the palm of his hand. He never makes mistakes. He never fails to check things. And he isn't a scientist. He would never become so preoccupied with research that he'd fail to make checks, and he can watch out for those who do make mistakes. He understood that, too, all too well. It costs a lot of money to send ships up there and establish a colony. You have to have the best man for the job. You get them even if they don't want to do it. Personal lives and viewpoints are expendable. It's got to be that way. There's too much at stake.
It's a cold place, the moon.
You're an odd bunch of guys. You and the others in the groups. Few of you, Dole, come up for the glamour. I know. None of you really like it. And none of you are enthusiastic about it. You're all reluctant to come in the first place, for the most part. You're a bunch of, well, pretty reluctant heroes.
18 months. He'll be up there 18 more months.
Personally, I don't feel happy about that. I don't like having to mess up other people's lives. I hope I won't have to again. Maybe somehow, some way, this one can be patched up. We'll try to.
18 months.
In the meantime, on behalf of the Commission and myself, I feel like a cheap, rotten heel.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features My Lady Greensleeves, a novelette by Frederick Pohl, which begins when a guard smelled trouble and knew it would come because he had been bred that way. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Reluctant Heroes, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Frank M. Robinson and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Mandel Kramer as Chapman, Jim Drummond as Klein, Bob Hastings as Dahl, Dick Hamilton as Donnelly, Jim Stevens as Dixon, and Vic Janiver as Eberline. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
For many days, the Gregory yacht has been held captive in the slip between two of the piers on the strange Isle of Euclidia, the Magic Island. The rescue boat sailed from Los Angeles with Johnson in command and was prepared to aid in rescuing Mrs. Gregory and her party from the island. However, radio messages between this boat and the Gregory yacht were intercepted, and Johnson's boat captured and towed to the island by a Euclidean submarine. Johnson was not aboard, however, and now he is bound back to Los Angeles to prepare another rescue expedition. Jerry and Joan are getting some mysterious instructions from Captain Bradford in the radio cabin on the yacht.
We'll do it exactly like you tell it, Tex, won't we, Joan?
Certainly. You may depend on Jerry and me to carry out your instructions, Captain. Even if there were some little danger connected with it, it would still be better for Jerry and myself to attempt it, as Captain Bradford would excite more suspicion trying to gain admittance to the laboratory.
I suppose you're right, dear, but it all seems so wild and terrible.
Now, don't worry, Mrs. Gregory. Joan and I'll bring home the bacon.
I know you will, kid. You and Joan can do the work of any two men I ever worked with. Now, listen. This thing isn't going to be difficult if you'll do exactly as I say.
Yes, Captain.
You and Jerry go over on the island. Start poking around in the corners and act curious. Don't get anyone too angry at you. But try to get yourselves taken to G47's laboratory if you don't get invited there.
Well, Joan knows all the places where we can bump into somebody who will take us to G47, so the old guy will bawl us out. Then we ought to be able to figure a way to stay in the laboratory and watch them finish working out the formula they got from Mac.
But if you are in the laboratory when the formula is completed, you will be in danger from the gas.
Not if they do as I tell them. Now, here is a lot of cotton soaked in a solution I made for the purpose. You can carry more than enough for both of you in your pocket, Jerry, and it'll stay wet enough for an hour or more. Now, if you're in the laboratory, when the gas floods the place, stick some of that cotton in your noses. Hold your mouths tight shut. Breathe a little through your noses if you have to. Be sure to fall with the others and act as they do. Then when they're all asleep, get out fast and close the door. Call the other Euclideans and tell them something has happened in the laboratory. Then you get back here to this boat.
Won't the gas affect their eyes, Tex?
Not in the slightest. Its only possible effect is in the lungs. The solution on the cotton will absorb all you could breathe of it for 3 minutes. 1 minute will give you more time than you need. That's all.
Oh, Joan, my dear, I'm so afraid for you.
There is nothing to fear. We will follow the captain's instructions.
Well, come on. Let's get going.
Good luck, kids.
Now where? You lead the way, Joan. You ought to know all the places where we can get into trouble on this funny island.
I will take you to several places where we should be stopped and taken before G47 to explain our conduct.
Here we go again. I start to get the jitters every time I walk on the stone without making any noise.
We may get many of those jitters, as you call them, before this little task of ours is completed.
Oh, you think it's going to be tough, huh?
Tough?
I mean, we're going to have a hard time putting it over?
Precisely.
Now, what did I tell you about that precisely thing?
I will not say it again, Jerry, if you do not like it.
You know, Joan, you're about the swellest girl a fella ever had.
I like that, Jerry. I think you are a nice and clever boy.
That's what I like about you. You could see what a swell fellow I was right away.
Yes, Jerry, you make it very plain.
Yeah, huh? Oh, yeah. You mean it sticks out all over me. Well, you ain't so bad yourself.
Jerry, how often must I tell you that ain't is not correct?
I know all about it. Now let my manners and English alone and do something to help the plot along. Where can we get into trouble?
Right here, if you do not speak more quietly. Remember that the guard in the central control chamber is hearing all you say.
Yeah, that's right.
Then... Oh, Jerry, the elevator housing is rising out of the island. Someone is coming up.
Let's just stall along over to it. We might pick up some news along there.
I do not understand that stall. How is it possible to stall along? Is not a stall a small partition?
Yeah. A stall is where they keep horses in English, but it means to go slow in slang. Hey, look who's coming out of the elevator.
Why, Jerry, it is Commander S1.
Nobody else. My girlfriend from the submarine.
But, Jerry, you said...
Now, don't start to cry. I know I called her my girlfriend, but it don't mean a thing. She's coming this way.
I think it would be well to use care in addressing the commander.
Okay, I'll watch my step.
It is indeed an unexpected pleasure to meet you, my dear Cleostra. And as usual, you are, of course, searching for trouble. How did you know that? Your indiscreet companion attracts trouble as a magnet does metal.
Okay, Commander, have it your way.
What is this? No sparkling retort from you, Hall?
I've got nothing to say.
That is likely. But under ordinary conditions, you would be saying it.
Saying what?
Nothing.
Oh.
You will pardon me, Commander, but Jerry and I would like to look around on some of the lower levels of the island. Would you care to accompany us?
Hey, Joan, wait a minute.
Quiet, Jerry. I have asked the commander to accompany us if it is agreeable to her.
Well, maybe you know what you're doing. Go to it.
I will be quite willing to accompany you. I am free at the time, and it is highly possible I may be able to prevent your getting into trouble.
Yeah, that's just what I was afraid of.
Jerry! Your remark confirms my suspicions, Hall. I shall accompany you. We will use the private submarine elevator. Follow me.
Now, look here, Joan. If this comes out wrong, it's your fault.
I feel as you say, Jerry. I have a bunch, and when
Hey, that's a hunch, not a bunch.
Of course, Jerry. Then I have a hunch.
Well, golly whiskers. So you've got a hunch, and you can use slang without choking on it. That's good enough for me.
You will enter?
Oh, hurry, Jerry.
Okay. In we go. Oh, this floor doesn't make any noise.
You must not pay any attention to Jerry, Commander. He is always looking for things which make noise.
Yeah, this island's too quiet for me.
I will take you where you may make a great deal of noise if you so desire. We will leave this car at the 5th floor.
That's where the main chemical laboratory is, isn't it?
Jerry.
Yes, the laboratory is there, as is this car. You may step out, Hall. And you, Cleostra?
Boy, that was service. 5 floors in about that many seconds and without a sound. Now where?
Follow me.
I know where we are going, I think, Jerry.
Where?
To the sound channel.
To the what?
Cleostra is correct. You wanted to make and hear noise. This chamber will give you ample opportunity.
What kind of a place is this? A special room for noise?
Precisely. We will enter here. Exercise caution in your voice and movements. The din will be terrific if you are careless.
There's more things on this island that do... Hey, listen to my voice. Gee, it sounds funny and loud, too.
I warned you to speak quietly.
This is the sound channel, Jerry, where all sounds are tested for their vibrations and penetrating qualities.
Here, for example, is a length of the Euclidean cloth with which you have lined your cabin. Put it over your head. Wrap it tightly around your throat. Then speak.
Hey, if this is a gag, I'll...
Try it, Jerry. I have done it before.
Okay. Well, how did it sound?
We could not understand your speech. The sound was barely audible.
Yes, Jerry. At a distance of a few feet, even that slight sound would not have been heard.
Well, I like it better this way. How am I doing?
Oh, Jerry, please. That makes such an awful noise.
This is the kind of a place I like, where you can hear all that's going on.
It is the only place on the island where nothing can be heard from without.
Jerry, the commander is right.
You mean this racket can't be heard out in the elevators or anywhere?
Precisely.
Then I can have all the fun I want to. Say it. Joan, that gives me an idea.
I had hoped it would.
You had... Huh?
The commander is waiting for you to speak, Jerry.
On the level, Commander. Nothing we say can be heard in any other place on the island? Not by their instruments or anything?
That has been definitely established.
And you brought us to this room on purpose. You did it to give us a chance to talk.
Exactly.
Swell. But, well, what if G47 finds out you brought us here? Won't that cause you a lot of trouble?
It would be very serious for the commander, Jerry.
But you brought us here anyhow. Well, Commander, I'm going to tell you something.
I might suggest that you hurry your remarks.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Okay, here it is. G47 has a formula he thinks is an important one of Captain Bradford's.
The universal solvent?
You knew that?
Sure, she knew. I guess everybody on the island knows G47's after that formula.
Correct. Proceed.
Well, this formula they've got is not the solvent, but it is a real formula. And when they put the last ingredient into it and get the solution exactly right, it will kind of blow up. And the room will be filled with a gas that will put everybody in the room to sleep for hours.
And your plan is?
Well, Joan and I want to be in that laboratory when the gas fills the room. Then when the Euclideans are all laid out, we'll run out and report to the other Euclideans. They'll rush in the room, and the gas will get them. It'll stay active in the big room for 24 hours.
And then?
Then we will notify Captain Bradford and Mother on the yacht. And our party will take over the command of the island, and everything will be... Oh, Jerry, we've made a mistake. The commander...
Hey, look here, Commander. You're on our side, aren't you? Commander. The commander. What makes you look so funny? Joan, this thing's going wrong. Don't let her out that door.
Silence. You two young fools need have no fear of me. I was merely thinking if I could plan your safety in that gas-filled room.
Hey, Joan, listen to that.
Yes, Jerry. Oh, you are wonderful, Commander.
Time will tell.
Well, don't worry about the gas for us. We've got some cotton soaked in a secret solution to stick in our noses so the gas won't hurt us.
Very well. I will take you to the laboratory at once. I will explain your presence by saying I found you spying in the outer chamber. Then I will remain with you as if to guard you. And when the gas has done its work, you may bring the captain to take over the control of Euclidia.
Oh, boy, that's swell. Here's some of the cotton. Stick it in your nose now and shove it up the nostril far enough so it won't be seen.
Prepare yourselves. I will not need the cotton.
But, Commander, you said that you would be in the room with us.
I shall.
Then the gas will put you to sleep. It might even hurt you. And, well, I'm not sure.
That is of no moment. You are in the right. The Euclideans are wrong. I can serve you best by posing as a loyal Euclidean, even to the point of allowing the gas to overcome me.
Down in the secret chambers of the magic Isle of Euclidia, an important experiment is underway. G47 has a formula which he believes to be Captain Bradford's universal solvent, and all of the Euclidean scientists are gathered in the main chemical laboratory to see the formula completed, while down inside the island, on the same level with the laboratory, Jerry and Joan are completing their plans, with the help of the Euclidean submarine commander, who has been won over to the aid of the Gregory party. They are in the sound channel, the only really noisy room on the island.
Well, I guess we might as well go in the laboratory and get it over with.
Do you not think it is time to start now, Commander?
It would not be advisable to arrive at the laboratory prematurely. If it is possible to plan it so, I think it best that you arrive just before the formula reaches completion. Then the scientists will be so deeply interested in watching the compounding of it that they will ignore your presence.
But they will have to know of our presence, will they not?
Sure, Joan. How about it, Commander?
We have agreed that I will take you into the laboratory as my prisoners, whom I have found spying in the secret chambers. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I arrive with you two just before the experiment is complete, G47 will merely order us to stand at one side and wait the result. He will be too deeply engrossed in his work to do otherwise.
That is right, Commander. But what if we arrive too early?
G47 would then have time to question me as to your activities in these chambers, and would undoubtedly send me to deliver you as prisoners to the confinement chambers. Then you would be helpless, and the experiment would be finished without your knowledge.
You're right, Commander. But how can we tell when to go in there? Captain Bradford said they might get the formula finished any time from a few minutes to an hour.
I will go now to the laboratory, ascertain the degree of progress on the experiment, and return for you.
Boy, that's swell.
We will all be very grateful to you, Commander.
Do not let your gratitude carry you away at this early date. Many things stand between this little plan and the overthrow of Euclidia. Remain in this room. Speak to no one. I will return in a few hundred seconds.
Jiminy crickets, Joan. The island must be falling to pieces. What a racket that was.
It was just the closing of the door as the commander went out.
But when we came in, that door didn't make a sound.
But that is not the door we came in through, Jerry. We entered through one of the noiseless doors. This one is an ordinary steel door that has not been treated with the noiseless paint.
Boy, this is sure some place. Let's look it over while we're waiting for the commander.
You must walk gently on many parts of this floor.
Why? Will I fall through?
Certainly not. But the noise will be so terrific you will give yourself a headache.
Well, I can stand a little noise for once. Come on. We'll walk around in here. Hey, I can't hear a sound from this floor.
If you will observe the color of the floor, you will see that the particular strip upon which we now move has been treated with the noiseless paint, while the next section, that strip running parallel to this one, is just the raw metal. Step gently onto it if you wish.
Okay, here goes. Golly whiskers, what a place. I guess I don't need the noise as bad as I thought I did. That's better.
You see, Jerry, wonderful things have been done on Euclidia.
I'll say they have. Look at that workbench and the bunch of tools they've got there. Would it be all right if I looked at them?
I see no reason why you should not. But be very careful to return each tool to its proper place.
Oh, I'll watch it. These hammers look just like regular ones.
Some of them are. You will notice that some of the hammers are painted with a red coloring matter. Those are noiseless. The gray metal ones are ordinary hammers.
And some of those nails are colored, too. Are they noiseless?
Yes, Jerry. You may use that piece of discarded wood on the floor. Drive the various nails into it if it will furnish you with any amusement.
Oh, I know. You think I've got to have something to play with all the time. Well, don't forget, this is all new to me. And when I get you back to the world, I'll show you a few things that'll, well, you'll want to stay and play with all day, too.
I understand that, Jerry. I merely wanted you to know that I appreciated your interest in these things.
You do all right in politics, Joan. Well, here goes. I'm going to drive a regular nail into this board with a regular hammer. Jumping, gee whiz. Did it make all that noise when I laid that little stick on that workbench?
Yes, Jerry. That portion of the bench and the piece of wood you chose have been made deliberately more resonant.
Giggling goldfish. Where's a quiet place on here and a quiet piece of wood?
Place that dark wood on the red-colored section of the bench.
Okay. There it is. Hey, not a sound.
Now, if you take one of the colored nails and a noiseless hammer, you may drive the nail in that wood with very little sound.
Well, I'll try it. It's a good trick even if it doesn't work. Gee whiz. That big spike went right through that board without making a bit of noise.
I think you would enjoy the noiseless saw also.
Huh? Noiseless saw?
Yes, Jerry. It is over here in the corner. Come right here beside me and you will be able to operate it.
Hey, your voice. Mine, too. They've lost that funny sound.
This corner of the room is soundproof, Jerry. Now, there is the saw. You start the motor, so...
That motor doesn't make a sound. Now, can I run a board through that saw?
You may.
This colored piece is one of the noiseless ones, huh?
That is right.
Well, here goes, then. Well, what do you think of that? The saw just eats its way right through that heavy board without a bit of noise. I'll bet Captain Bradford would like to get his hands on that formula.
Formula? Jerry, that reminds me the commander should be back by this time.
Oh, yeah. I hope she didn't get herself into any trouble trying to help us.
I think the commander would be too clever for that. But she is also too clever for you and me, Jerry.
What do you mean?
She could deceive us very easily and be telling G47 all of the captain's plans.
You don't really think she'd do that, do you?
We learn our lessons well on Euclidia, Jerry. It is a school of fear, and one not easily broken away from.
But you got away from it easy enough. Just as soon as you heard your mother and the rest of us talking about a few of the things in our world, you figured out that this island wasn't so hot after all.
That is true, Jerry, but I have my mother. She will take me to her beautiful home in California. The commander has no reason to leave here.
Well, suppose she does give us away. We couldn't be any worse off than we are now. All prisoners on this island with no chance of getting away until Johnson goes to Los Angeles and comes back. And G47's got a good chance to fix it so he won't ever come back. What's the difference, Joan? We're sunk anyhow. We might as well put up a fight for it.
I like you when you speak like that, Jerry. You are a brave, loyal boy. I think you are very fine.
Oh, kind of waking up, aren't you? You'll appreciate me someday.
Oh, here is the commander, Jerry. We must go to meet her.
She's got about as much expression on her face as a wooden Indian. You can't tell whether she's got good news or bad.
The time has come for us to repair to the laboratory. The experiment is nearing completion.
Oh, that's swell, Commander. Does G47 know we're around here?
Your presence in the lower levels has naturally been reported, but fortunately, I have been sent to find you.
When do we go?
Immediately. First, let me give you a few brief instructions.
Of course, Commander.
Shoot?
Under no conditions.
Huh?
You must not even display a weapon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commander. I didn't really mean to shoot. That means go ahead with your story.
I must have a translation of your complete vocabulary at another time. Now we will enter the laboratory and remain just within the door. Even if our presence is observed, we will probably be ignored. However, should G47 have time to question us, remain silent. I will explain how I found you and brought you to the chambers.
I think that is a splendid plan. Do you not, Jerry?
Well, let's get going.
Precisely. Follow me. You will follow me?
But what are you going to do with us?
That will be decided by G47. I will take you to him at once.
But we were not doing anything harmful, Commander. I was merely showing the sound channel to Jerry.
The extent of your misdemeanor will be decided by G47.
I see you have them with you, Commander.
I was ordered to take them before G47. Will you accompany me? This young fool Hall may become obstinate. He has more courage than brains.
I will accompany you. G47 made it quite plain that this boy and girl were not to be harmed. So you would find your ray gun useless. I can use force if necessary. G47 will question them immediately upon our arrival.
Hey, look here, you two. We haven't done anything wrong.
That is correct. Jerry and I were simply looking at the strange devices in the sound channel.
Nevertheless, you are on the lower levels without permission. Is that not so?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Then you must explain to G47. Silence. We enter the laboratory.
Gee, I thought the laboratory would be another of those silent rooms.
It is not silent for the benefit of many experiments which deal with sound. Normal hearing is indispensable.
Should I report our presence to G47?
It is not necessary. We are observed.
G47 is coming toward us now, Jerry. Say nothing to make him angry.
Then I can't say anything. That guy hates me for saying good morning.
Excellent work, Commander. You have brought them just in time. The work on the captain's formula is within seconds of completion.
I will take them to the confinement cells if you wish it.
No. I want them here. Bradford is a very clever man. It is entirely possible that he may have planned a little surprise for us at the completion of the formula. It will be well to have two of his friends near me at that time.
What do you mean, G47?
If anything unpleasant were to happen, it might lessen the captain's enjoyment to know that you too, young fools, had received a portion of the treatment.
You are wanted at the table, G47.
Yes. Come with me, you two. Over here, quickly.
Is that the stuff there?
Precisely. It has reached the boiling point. The process should be complete any second.
Gas. Jerry, I'm sleepy, Jerry.
Joe.
To hear is fiction, science fiction. We make no guarantees, however, how long it will remain fiction.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
The scene is a missile testing base somewhere in the continental United States. The time, 2:30 on a Tuesday afternoon, 5, maybe 10 years from now. A rather unusual missile is getting worked over. Blast off is 10 minutes away, and the countdown is in its last stages. And a man is sitting inside this missile, waiting. The United States is about to make its first attempt to send a manned rocket to the moon.
9 minutes to blast off, Captain. Still feel loose and easy.
Like a bird, Colonel, waiting to be cut loose and soar. How do you feel?
Me, Captain? I'm just sitting here in the observation tower. You're the one in the launching pad. You're the man going to the moon.
And you're the one who has to face all the reporters after blast-off. Me, I'm glad I'll be up there alone. How much time left, Colonel?
6 minutes, 20 seconds. Let's run through the schedule one last time.
Okay. I sit in this cradle and I wait for the rockets to toss me up into space. I get 500 seconds of 4G acceleration. Then I sit around and look out the viewport for the next 4 days while the ship coasts in 0G free fall. I'm roughly 8 1/4 minutes past 4 on Sunday afternoon. The autopilot is going to turn the rocket engines on again. Long enough to land me in the Oceanus Procellarum, which better be as dry as the Palomar boys say it is. I climb into my little Jim Dandy spacesuit, wander around the moon for a while, take some snapshots, pick up a couple of rocks as souvenirs. And 15 hours after landing, I get back into my ship and I come home. Did I leave anything out?
Not a thing, Captain. 3 minutes, 10 seconds.
Well, all I do is sit here and wait anyway. Computer down below in the belly of the ship does all the work. Me, Mike Wellman, first man on the moon. Maybe, anyway.
What do you mean, maybe? The ship's been tested thoroughly. There's no possibility of...
A blow-up? No, go ahead. Don't be afraid to say it. I wasn't talking about that. The odds are pretty good that this bird is going to get me there. The only thing I'm wondering about is whether someone else is going to get there ahead of me. I'd hate to find a big vodka party going on when I get there.
90 seconds. They're clearing the launching pad, Captain. We better break contact now. Good luck. The next time I hear from you, it's going to be from space.
Sure, Colonel. I'll report as soon as I'm in free fall. Then radio messages every 4 hours. You won't forget about those baseball scores, will you?
Scores. 30 seconds, Captain. And all America is rooting for you.
And I'm rooting for the Dodgers. So long, Colonel. See you next week when I get back.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
Launching base, how do I come in?
Clear and sharp, Captain.
Oh, glad to hear it. Okay, ship's time, 1,452 hours. Blast off went fine from this end. I got through acceleration good enough. 4Gs isn't much fun, but I don't mind it in 8-minute stretches. The ship's in free fall now, no gravity at all. And it's weird, all right. Even after all those hours in the training chamber, I still feel a little strange. Very quiet up here. Nice. Man really can think here. And the view is really something. Where do you see the photos?
How about the psychological reaction? You don't feel cut off?
Me? A guy whose idea of heaven is being alone with some books? Colonel, I like it up here. The psych test said I was an introvert, didn't they?
Well, not really. Just sort of solitary-minded.
Same thing. Well, it's us solitary-minded people who are going to be your spacemen, Colonel. We don't mind the loneliness. Listen, Colonel. How are the cosmic ray readings coming through?
Perfect. All the equipment seems to be functioning.
Including the pilot. Or rather, the live cargo, because that's all I really am. Okay, Colonel. I got a few odd jobs to do on board. I'll be talking to you again in 4 hours. Over. Here I am again, Colonel. 2 days out, still no sweat. I'm getting used to this no-gravity business, and I...
Go on with the rest of the report, Captain. There's been a change in the operational plans.
Huh? What kind of change?
You aren't landing on the moon. Pentagon orders are for you to adjust the computer to alternate course B. Circle the moon and return to Earth without landing.
Hey, wait a minute, sir. How come the switch?
Well, it's an awkward situation, Captain. You see, between the time I last spoke to you and now, the Russians... I know this will come as kind of a shock to you. The Russians made a successful landing on the moon.
No.
Radio Moscow announced it 2 hours ago. And since then, we've picked up broadcasts from the Russian ship. They've landed, all right.
They beat us to it. By 2 stinking days. 2 days earlier, and I would have been the first.
You haven't heard the worst part of it yet. The Russians have claimed the moon.
They what?
Like Columbus claiming the Western Hemisphere. We're putting up a yell, of course, but there just isn't any precedent for this kind of thing. The UN is meeting to decide whether they have any right to.
So this is why I can't land, huh?
The Russians say they'll regard any lunar landing as trespassing on their property. We can't risk an incident, of course. So for the time being, we're going to hold back and wait till the legal aspect of this business is worked out.
So I can't land. You send me up here and I ride around for a week and don't even put my foot down on the moon. Colonel. Russia doesn't own the moon, no matter what they say.
Captain Woman.
I'm sorry, Colonel. I'm more than halfway there, and I'm darned if I'm going to miss my chance.
I'm going to land, sir.
Well, then listen to me. You can't disobey orders.
Yes, I can, sir. I'm landing. Over and out.
It's not that the moon wasn't meant for man. It's just that man was never designed for the moon. It's a fantastically inhospitable place. Harsh, blinding sunlight with no atmosphere to dim it. Jagged shadows. The rocks are hard, sharp-edged. There has been no weathering to soften them, and the shadows are just as hard and black. It's not a nice place to be alone. Or even when there's only one other human being within 200,000 miles.
I don't know if you want to hear from me again, Colonel, but I'm beaming this anyway. Look, I just wanted to let you know that I've landed on the moon as originally scheduled. Yeah, right on the nose, in the designated landing area. Northern branch of the Oceanus Procellarum. And you can tell the Palomar fellows that they were right all along. Maybe this was an ocean once, but not in the last million years or so. As for the Russian ship, it isn't any hoax. I saw it when I came down. It's about 50 miles north of here. Maybe later I'll break out the rocket sled and wander over there for some vodka. The Russians are trying to contact me now. I better shift channel, see what they want. Over, Colonel. Come on in, Ivan. Да, нет, товарищ, ничего. I'm afraid that uses up my Russian vocabulary, Ivan. How's your English?
I am Captain Dmitry Novikov, Soviet Space Forces. You are illegally trespassing on our property, American.
I am, huh? Say, your English is pretty good, but your politics isn't. You say the moon is yours, huh? Lunar Soviet Socialist Republic? I'm sorry to disagree. Just getting here first doesn't give you the right to claim the whole place, you know.
The matter has been considered by our legal experts. We have established prior claim. I am under orders to request you to leave Russian territory immediately.
But this is cockeyed, claiming the whole moon. Now, look here, Dmitri.
You will address me as Captain Novikov.
Okay. Now, look here, Novikov. The moon's a big place, and there's room for a lot of us up here. It really isn't fair to want to hog the whole thing yourself.
The Presidium said Soviet policy, not space pilots. I'm instructed to warn you that you are trespassing. I do not wish to debate the matter with you.
So I'm trespassing then. What are you going to do about it?
My ship is armed.
And you can't figure out any better way of celebrating the conquest of space and starting a war about it?
The United States ordered you not to make a landing. They recognize our claim. We cannot tolerate violation of our rights.
And you're going to be nasty about it, I see, huh? Well, I'll take my chances. Now I've got some work to do before I go back. I'll be leaving the moon in 14 hours and a bit. Hey, now, how long are you staying up here? You've been here better than 2 days already. You planning to hold the fort forever?
My plans for departure should not concern you.
Well, I'm just curious, that's all. Okay, Dmitri. Maybe I'll be talking to you again soon. And yeah, you, sneaky son of a gun, congratulations. You did get here first. Over. Come in, launching base. You hear me?
We're getting you, Wellman. We read you.
Look, I just had a little chat with the Ruski. There seems to be only one of them. He gave me some malarkey about firing on me if I don't clear off the moon right away.
Wellman, you insubordinate idiot, you're liable to touch off a war over this moon trip.
Well, what was I supposed to do? Smile politely and turn back just because they got here first? You think they have any right to claim the moon?
Of course not. That's not the point. You were ordered not to risk trouble by landing.
Yeah, and I landed anyway. Well, go ahead. Chop my head off when I get back to Earth. Meanwhile, I'm here, and if that Russian doesn't blow me up, I expect to do a little exploring in the next 14 hours.
I don't think the Russian's going to blow you up. He's got his own troubles.
What do you mean?
We've decoded some of the messages he's been sending back to Moscow. Seems he made a faulty landing and has to make some repairs on his ship. It may take him a week or two, and he doesn't have enough food. Russia may be crowing about claiming the moon, but it's going to look bad for them if their spaceman can't get back. Starves to death.
Yeah, that would be rough. Maybe I better call him back and see if I can help him out.
Well, then leave him alone. He's a Russian.
He's a human being. And so am I. Get off the wire and let me call him, Colonel.
I order you not to make any overtures to that Russian.
Look, I'm not on Earth now. There doesn't need to be a Cold War up here, too, Colonel. And I have plenty of food to spare. Give the folks back home my love. I'm going to call Ivan again.
You know, it's one thing to make a claim to say, this is mine. It's something else to hold on to it and make the claim stick. Somewhat like the Colonel. It was a little difficult for him to enforce the orders he was trying to give to the man on the moon.
Novikov, you getting me?
You have 3 hours to leave Russian territory. Then I must command action.
Now, look, don't give me that stuff. I know your ship's disabled and you're in trouble.
This is untrue. My ship is in good condition.
Dan Trotsky was Rasputin's brother. You know, Novikov, I sometimes feel I'm the only sane man in a world of lunatics. Those idiots down there in Washington didn't want me to land because it might make Moscow sore. And you don't want any help from me because I'm not a good Marxist. It's a losing battle, Dmitri. Everyone seems to know what he really wants, and yet everybody tries hard to get the opposite.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. You just sit tight. I'm going to launch the rocket sled and get over your way with a couple of cartons of provisions. If you won't take food from a lackey of Wall Street, that's your business. I'm coming over anyway.
Boy, it's good to get that helmet off.
Hello, Novikov. My name's Mike Wellman. Why have you done this? What trick are you playing? Listen, friend, all I'm doing is bringing some of my spare food. Nothing up my sleeve at all. I do not understand that. Up my sleeve? It's a decadent capitalist idiom. It means I'm not trying to fool you. The supplies are out on the rocket sled. Get into your suit and let's bag them in. I said I would fire on you. And you bring me food? Yeah, silly, isn't it? But they told me they picked up your messages to Moscow. That you were going to be stuck here a few weeks for repairs. I was not telling the truth. This ship will never take off again. The rear rocket tubes are hopelessly crumpled. The fuel field lines are severed. It was a very poor landing. I gave incorrect data to the computer.
And you told them you could fix it?
They do not like to receive news of failure. Leave me alone, American. Take your food and go away.
Hey, what are you going to eat? Rocks? There won't be a rescue ship up here for a month, at least.
There will be no rescue ship for me. I do not deserve rescue.
You'll just sit up here and starve to death?
I made a faulty landing. I cannot return to my country now.
And I disobeyed orders. I wasn't supposed to land because the moon is red property now. But the only Russian here is stranded, helpless.
Do not mock me.
I'm not. There's a fine bunch of spacemen you and me are. You smash up your ship and I disobey half my orders. But I'm glad I disobeyed anyway. At least there'll be one practical result of my trip. I'll be saving a man's life. You? Sure. You're coming back with me to Earth. We can jettison some of the meters and stuff and make room for you. I bet you don't weigh more than 150. We can manage. Sure. But save the butts for later. And if you're trying to argue me out of it, I'll slug you. Hello, Colonel. I'm on my way home. Pretty fair blast off, and we're 20,000 miles out from the moon now. I left a little of the equipment behind. The next ship can pick it up. And I've got a passenger.
You mean that Russian?
Yeah. Seems the ship was wrecked, so I talked him into coming back with me. He's down back in the galley fixing lunch now. I guess we'll both be called traitors for saying it, but we've sort of become friends. And he doesn't think Russia ought to claim the moon either.
Well, we have one distinction anyway. Maybe a Russian ship was the first to get to the moon, but it was an American one that made the first successful round trip.
I like to think of it in a different way. Not an American ship or a Russian ship. Stuff like that shouldn't matter anymore. Call it a ship from Earth. Yeah. Novikov and I started out separately, but we're coming back together. The first expedition from Earth to Moon is coming home. Who owns the moon is really very simple. It belongs to man, of course, to mankind. Earth is really a twin planet. No other planet we know of has a moon that's practically as big as the planet itself. The moon is Earth's smaller sister, and it, like the Earth, belongs to man. We earned it. We worked for it. For 3 billions of years, we have been evolving and struggling and growing. The next growth is out to the moon. We're on our way.
Stereo presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, and today Editor Perry White makes a decision that will bring many exciting moments to the Man of Steel. We'll learn what it is in a moment. But right now, I say that Dan McCullough has something to tell you. Okay, Dan?
Say, gang, haven't you often wanted to be an aviator and be able to handle a plane as expertly as the heroes we've all heard about? Well, naturally, it'll be a good many years yet before you can do that, but here's a grand, easy way you can pick up a lot of valuable aviation dope right now. Sure, it's by studying the information that's printed on the backs of all the exciting prize model planes that come inside all the Kellogg's Pep packages. You see, there's a swell plain model right inside every single package of that super delicious breakfast cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Now, it's made of colored cardboard, and it's just as easy as pie to put together. And on the back of every model plane is a list of special pointers about that particular model. Now, there are models of 14 different planes you can get all together. And among them are exciting models like the Douglas Skymaster. That's a transport, you know. And the British Lancaster Bomber and the Russian 118. And best of all, gang, you don't have to send in a single penny for any of these models. Not even a buck stop. There's a model plane right inside every Pep package. So, gang, be sure your mother gets you a package of those golden, delicious whole wheat flakes tomorrow. Remember the name? Pep. P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Only a short time has passed since Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Perry White, and Jimmy Olsen discovered a beautiful girl deeply asleep on an ancient barge in the waters off the coast of Florida. But since then, they have discovered that the girl was the Princess Rev Peyton, who came from a hidden land called Illyria, a land which had been founded more than 700 years ago. Clark Kent, on hearing her story, decided that the Grand Master, Saki, who had condemned her to death, must in reality be a Japanese agent who, for one reason or another, wanted control of Illyria for Japan's war purposes. Rev Peyton had just given Kent a clue as to where Illyria might be located when a mysterious face appeared at the window, and 2 shots were fired in an obvious attempt to murder her. As we continue now, it is some time later. Whoever fired the shots has mysteriously disappeared. Now, Kent, Lois, Jimmy, and Editor White are in the hotel room with Rev Peyton.
I fear I have done nothing but cause you trouble, my son.
Don't be silly, Rev Peyton. It's not your fault. Clark.
Yes, Lois?
Just before those shots were fired, you were about to tell us why Rev Peyton responded to the word Columbia.
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, you remember she said her nurse had given her an emerald as a last relic from her homeland?
Oh, Columbia. the land of the animals.
Well, that means the nurse came from Colombia in South America, and Illyria, therefore, must be somewhere in that region.
Well, let's get to Illyria. What are we all standing around for? Here, let me have that phone. Whenever anything important has to be done, I always have to do it myself. I can't depend on anyone. Operator!
Your order, please.
Get me George Brooks. From to the airport.
Yes, sir.
You, Lois. Start getting the girl ready.
Okay, I'll have to render a coat of mine, I guess.
Nay, do not trouble thyself. I shall rest quietly here while thou makest arrangements.
Good idea. You'll need your strength.
Here's your coffee, sir.
Hello?
Hello, Palm City Airport. Brooks speaking.
No, hello, Brooksy. This is Perry White of the Daily Planet.
Oh, hello, Mr. White. What can I do for you?
I need a plane and a good pilot immediately. It's urgent.
I see. For how long a trip, Mr. White, and to where?
Well, I'm not sure. We'll have to have a pilot who knows Central and South America pretty well. We'll explain when we see him.
Well, you know, we're pretty short of ships these days, Mr. White. Now, unless this is important...
It's very important. Very important. Matter of life and death.
Well, okay, Mr. White. I'll have a 5-passenger Stinson ready to go in half an hour.
That's fine.
Where will you be in case they want to get in touch with you?
Beau Rivage Hotel.
Beau Rivage Hotel. Okay, Mr. White.
Thanks.
Oh, boy, things sure are moving fast. Gosh, I wish I had some kind of flying suit or something.
What for? What makes you think you're going to do any flying?
Oh, gee, Chief. I mean, Mr. White.
Don't give me that routine. You're not going.
Oh, too bad, Jim. We can't all go, you know. I suppose I'd better wear flats.
Not traveling with me, you don't. I can't stand women in pants.
But, Chief, it may be a rough trip.
Going back to Metropolis isn't going to be any rougher than coming down.
Going back to Metropolis?
Yeah.
You mean I'm not flying to Illyria?
No, you're not. You're coming back with me.
Chief, you're not serious.
Of course I'm serious. What do you think I'm running, a newspaper or a travel bureau?
If you're serious, if you mean you're going to deprive me of the best story we've ever had, if you think I'm going to put...
Look,
I'm
asking you to listen to reason. I've got a newspaper to run.
Now,
I
Chief.
can't get along without both my star reporters, especially when we haven't any idea how long this trip is going to take.
I know, Chief, but after all...
Besides, Lois, this may be dangerous.
Well, I'm not afraid.
Of course you're not. We know
Oh,
that.
keep quiet, Clark. It's easy for you to talk. You get the exclusive on this.
If I have to choose one of you, Kent's got to be the one to go. There has to be a man along.
A man? That's the funniest thing I've heard in years.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
I'll tell you what you can do.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're sending Clark to protect Rev Peyton.
No, sort of. What of it?
Send Jimmy to look out for Clark.
Oh. Well, now, as a matter of fact, I think it would be a good idea for Jim to come along.
Oh, boy. Didn't I tell you? He's probably scared already.
Lois, stop talking nonsense.
Can I really go, Mr. White? I think it's the most unfair thing I've ever heard.
Will you please stop talking all at once?
Oh,
for the love of Mike, I can't. Quiet. I can't hear myself think. Now, I am editor of this paper. Of course, a stranger walking in here might doubt that, but I don't. Anybody disagree?
Now, look, Chief, there's no sense getting on your high horse.
You keep still.
All right.
These are my orders. Kent and the girl and Jimmy take off on the plane in 20 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Be quiet, I said.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
All right. Lois and I will carry on from Metropolis. And understood?
Sure. You're the boss.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Men, get going. Lois, wake the girl. Get her ready. We'd better explain to her what's going to happen. If she sees a plane, let alone goes up in one, she may die of fright.
Okay,
And
Chief.
Kent.
Yes?
You and Jim start to the airport now.
Right,
Take your
Chief.
course and see that they step on it, getting that ship in order.
Okay.
If you run into any trouble, ask for George Brooks and tell him to clear everything. And by that time...
Well, Lois, Chief, looks like Jim, Red Peyton, and the bird are comfortably set in the plane. Goodbye until... well, until...
So long, Clark. Good luck.
Thanks. Goodbye, Kent. Take it easy now. Get a good story.
You bet. I'm sure we'll find Illyria all right.
Goodbye, Mr. White, Miss Lane. Don't forget to let my mother know where I went. Tell her not to worry.
Relax, Jim.
Bye.
They can't hear you over this noise.
Huh?
They can't hear you. You all right, Red Peyton?
I feel like Clark. It's a strange sensation. But the thought that soon my eyes shall again behold Illyria gives me courage and strength.
Good girl. How about you, Jim?
Oh, me? Oh, I'm okay. I've been up in a plane before. Well, I was even in a rocket ship once.
Sure, I know, but this may even be a little more exciting. My hunch is we're going to see parts of this world we've never even dreamed of before.
Water below. Surely, like us, heaven itself.
Yeah, that's the Gulf of Mexico. We're heading towards Cuba. Where? I can't see it.
Just keep your eyes to the right, far below. No, to the right. You'll see it in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see it now. Gee, it looks like a great big garden stuck in the middle of the ocean.
Cloud. How long do we remain suspended thus in the air?
Not too long. Following my hunch, we're heading for an explored part of South America near Colombia, where your emerald came from. Guiana Highlands, probably.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, you've heard about the Guiana Highlands.
Is that where thou thinkest Canarians to be found?
I hope so.
Oh, there's not but water and water to be seen.
We're over the Caribbean now. Soon we'll be sighting the mainland.
And then shall we be lying near it?
Uh-huh. Shouldn't be more than 200 miles or so from the coast. Let's be patient, Rusty.
You know, Mr. Kent, just a little while ago I was excited about fishing on the Atlantic.
Uh-huh.
And now look at me.
I am.
Flying over South America. Boy, I'll see the Amazon River and Orinoco. I gotta pinch myself every once in a while to make sure I'm not dreaming.
Let me see now. We should be flying southeast.
Well, that's what we're doing, aren't we?
Well, no. No, Jim. It seems to me the plane is heading west. See? The sun is setting directly in front of us. I don't like this, Jim. I don't like it at all.
Puzzled, Clark Kent tries to recall the exact instructions he gave the pilot at the Florida airport. He knows that going off course in this area can be almost fatal, for it is here that many courageous explorers have been lost forever. We'll return in a moment to learn whether the plane is off course. And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Clark Kent has just noticed that their plane seems to be flying off course. Rev Peyton, aware of his concern, questions him.
Why hast thou gone in so Kent?
Something fishy here. We're flying awfully high. Seems to me we're off course. Wait a minute, I'll check with the pilot. Pilot? Pilot?
Yeah? What is it?
Open the door a minute.
What do you want?
I'd like to use the radio to contact Florida, if you don't mind.
The radio's out of order. What? We're trying to get back to the controls or we'll crash. Don't worry, kid. We're flying on automatic gyro. We're not crashing. At least, not yet. Sorry, the radio's out of order.
What are you talking about?
That's what I said. The radio's out of order.
Why didn't you report that to me before?
Look, Mr. Kent, I'm running this ship. Back here, speak and sit down.
Mr. Kent, this man is a stranger. A straight Blacklock. Our eyes have not beheld him before. Does thou not remember the other one?
Sure, I remember. The pilot we spoke to first had Charlie Brown. That dame and a kid talk too much.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Never mind that. I'm following instructions.
You're not following the instructions I gave you.
Yeah? Who said so?
I do. You were told to fly due southeast after sighting the mainland. And this ship is flying due west. Now, please step aside.
I told you. The radio is out of order. Now, if all you want to do is pick the course, I have the flight chart here in my pocket. Look out, Mr. Kent. He's pulling a gun.
Get back there, Jim. You too, Mr. Kent. Me too. What?
Get back there with him. You notice my gun's not pointing at you, but at that girl. If there's one move out of you, she gets it. And the kid's next.
Startled at this unexpected turn of events, Clark Kent stares at the strange pilot of the plane. If he dares make a move to get the gun away from him, Rev Peyton or Jimmy may be killed. At this moment, Superman is helpless. But will he be for long? To find out, listen tomorrow to the next thrilling episode in The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the makers of that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep. This is Mutual. Kellogg's Pep.
the super delicious cereal presents the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
It's Superman. And today, the Man of Steel, Jimmy Olsen, and the Princess Red Peyton find themselves facing new dangers in a strange and faraway land. We'll learn more about it in a moment. But right now, here's Dan McCullough to ask you a question.
Gang, how do you honestly feel about breakfast? Do you wake up really hungry in the morning, or do you generally have to be coaxed to finish breakfast? Well, however you feel about it, I'm willing to bet that you'll go all out for a big bowl full of super delicious Kellogg's Pep, served up with plenty of cool milk. Yes, sir, you really can't beat a generous helping of those crisp, golden whole wheat flakes when it comes to a top-notch breakfast treat. And, gang, in my opinion, you can't beat the swell prize that comes in all the Kellogg's Pep packages either. You see, there's a nifty colored cardboard plane model right inside every single Pep package, all ready to put together. Now, there are 14 different models you can get. Exciting planes like the British Sunderland flying boat, the Douglas P-54 Skymaster, and the Russian yacht. In fact, there are 4 British planes, 2 Russian, and 8 American models that you can get all together. And best of all, gang, you don't have to send in a single penny for them, not even a box top. There's a model plane right inside every single Pep package. So, gang, be sure your mother gets you a package of those golden, delicious whole wheat flakes tomorrow. Remember the name? Pep. P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now the adventures of Superman. As we know, Superman landed the plane in which Rev Peyton and Jimmy Olsen lay unconscious in the center of a huge grassy plain, which later, as Clark Kent, he identified as the Orinoco Valley in South America. While they were getting their bearings in this strange part of the world, the earth suddenly began to tremble. Running quickly, they reached a safe spot just as the ground upon which the plane was standing cracked open. Dazed, they looked on as the plane shuddered and vanished before their very eyes.
Oh, what happened? I don't get it, Mr. Kent. Was it an earthquake?
No, Jim, it wasn't. You all right, Red Peyton?
Oh, so many strange things have occurred to me. It's as though I was waking from a dream.
Sounds more like a nightmare to me. Well, what was it, Mr. Kent?
During the dry season, the land in the Orinoco Valley dries out so much that the earth splits open. Sometimes the holes are as big as a city block and thousands of feet deep.
Gosh, I was scared before, but now I'm glad I saw it. There's only one thing.
What?
Well, what are we going to do now?
What do you mean?
Well, we can't spend the night in a plane because there is no plane. We can't just keep on walking.
No, we'd better wait until daylight, I guess. We'll find a clump of bushes or a few trees or something.
Well, what good will that do us?
Well, we can build a lean-to and spend the night there.
Oh, it's a good thing the Coleman's feathers glow in the dark. This will have some light.
Look, Nicomas, hear something. Perhaps it's one of his own feathered friends. Fly, Nicomas. Fly with us, I would.
Let's head that way. He'll call to us if he finds something, won't he?
Aye, he's a wise bird.
You mean he understands what we're looking for?
He feels the grass got into our minds and our hearts.
Hey, he's calling us.
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, you're walking too fast for Rev Peyton.
No. Let me not hinder thee.
Oh, Jim's right. I better carry you again.
Nicolas is impatient. He calls us.
Come on, Red Peyton.
Up you go. Well, can't we just walk slower? If you carry her, then you'll get all tired out, and then where
Don't worry him, Jim. We'll take each thing as it comes along. You walk on ahead, but not too fast. And watch your step.
Gosh, it's dark here. Wish Nakoma were around so we could see.
He's staying where he is as a signal to us. Just watch for his light.
Nicolas will guide us.
Look, he's leaping listen.
What's the matter?
I almost got my foot caught in another one of those cracks.
Told you to watch your step. Come on.
Hey, there he is. There's Nakoma.
Oh, it is like that we see.
Uh-huh. Well, he's coming toward us now. Haven't much further to go.
All right, little babe. We follow thee. Lay down.
We're practically there. With Nakoma's light, you can almost see plain as day. Those are trees, aren't they?
Yes, and I hear a stream of water, too.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Nicolas sees us surprise. He'll wait us our arrival.
Do you feel how the grass is getting softer under our feet?
That's right. Dryness hasn't reached this spot yet.
Or else we're nearing the jungle.
Gosh, it's beautiful around here. It's like a fairyland set in a great waste.
And you were right, Mr. Kent. It's a brook. Sure. That means we'll have fresh water. All right, now let's get going and build a lean-to.
Oh, you're sure after we get it all built, the ground won't split open and swallow it up?
No, I don't think so. If there's water running, the ground can't be dried out.
Okay, I'll go look for some wood.
No. You stay here with Rev Peyton, Jim. She mustn't be left alone. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Now, first I've got to find a natural hollow where Jim and Rev Peyton will be protected. Oh, this looks like a good spot. I'll pull some of these branches down. Another one over here. That'll do it. Hang my trench coat over it. So. There we are. Well, when they're set for the night, I'll really have to get to work. Okay, Jim. Rev Peyton, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Then follow the sound of my voice. Over here.
Okay, we're coming.
I've got a temporary lean-to set up for you.
Now, that's good, because Rev Peyton's tired. Meg, I fear I'm becoming a burden to thee.
Don't you worry about that. Help her into the lean-to, Jim.
Okay. Gee, this is nifty. It sure works fast.
Well, lie down there, Rev Peyton, and try to get some sleep. You too, Jim. We'll have a big day tomorrow, and you'll need your strength.
Oh, what are you going to do, Mr. Kent?
Well, I still want to try to find out more about where we are.
Don't you think maybe one of us ought to try to get some kind of help? We might get lost in the jungle, and then...
Don't you worry about that now. Sleep is what you need.
Oh, okay, you're the boss.
You all right, Rev Peyton?
Oh, yeah, thanks, thee.
You, Jim?
Uh-huh.
Good. I'll be back shortly. Now, I've got to work fast. Jim and Rev Peyton will never hold out this way. I'd better get back to the safe for help.
Look out, Rev Peyton.
Hey, Scott, what's happened back there? I'm coming! I'm coming!
What new danger loomed the moment Clark Kent turned his back? We'll know in a moment. But first, here's a reminder for you.
Say, gang, have you gotten a full squadron of PEP model planes yet? Remember that there's a really neat colored cardboard plane model right inside every single package of that super delicious breakfast cereal, Kellogg's Pep. And there are 14 different models you can get all together. So if you've been a regular Pep eater these past weeks, you ought to have a really good head start on a squadron of Pep model planes. And believe you me, gang, these planes are really slick prizes. Now, in the first place, they're models of exciting modern warplanes. Planes like the British Whirlwind Fighter, and the Russian Yacht, and the Curtiss Helldiver, and the Lockheed C-69 Constellation. In fact, there are 4 British models, 2 Russian ones, and 8 American ones that you can get all together. And on the back of each plane, you'll find a lot of valuable pointers on how to spot it, along with a list of the other models that you can get in that particular series. And best of all, gang, you don't have to send in a single penny for these nifty models. Not even a box top. There's a plane right inside every single Pep package. So, gang, remind your mother to get you a package of those golden, delicious whole wheat flakes tomorrow. Under the name Pep, P-E-P. Pep is made by Kellogg's in Battle Creek.
And now, back to the adventures of Superman. Clark Kent, having settled Rev Peyton and Jimmy Olsen in a makeshift lean-to, left them and walked into the darkness to assume his true role of Superman and return to the United States for help. He was about to rid himself of Kent's disguise when he heard Jimmy and Rev Peyton calling frantically. Wheeling, he rushed back to the lean-to.
Hurry, Mr. Kent. Hurry, he's ready to jump.
Stop! A jaguar!
You killed him, Mr. Kent. He's dead. Oh, I thank thee, Peter. I thank thee.
I shouldn't have left you alone. Well, we better all stick together from now on.
Gosh, you killed him with your bare hands, Mr. Kent. You broke his neck. How'd you do it?
I was just lucky, Jim. His neck snapped against a rock, I guess.
Boy, I'll say that was luck. Mr. Kent, what kind of an animal is it? You call him a something?
Jaguar, Jim.
Oh.
That's a South American panther.
A panther?
Mm-hmm.
He's a lizard. He sure looks fierce.
Quiet. Look. That Satan's still on his leap from sheer exhaustion.
Oh, okay.
Nakoma, you stay outside on the limb right above us. Understand?
What for?
Why'd you send him outside?
His bright light will keep the animals away better than a fire. Okay, Jim. Let's turn in ourselves. Huh?
Yeah, let's. I feel kind of done in myself.
As Red Peyton, Jimmy Olsen, and Clark Kent close their eyes for some much-needed sleep, something is happening in the hills not far distant from them. Strange, white, billowing objects float down through the sky and land on the ground. Then two figures disengage themselves, and as they scramble to their feet, we hear...
Oshima! Yes, it's Oshima. Others ran further up. Good. We not need talking whispers here. There is no one around. We take off parachute? Yes. Oh, it's great honor Emperor has bestowed upon us. First Japanese to land in America as conquerors. Our troops were on Kitsko. Not forgetting that. That is America, too. Yes, but not so close to very hot. We are not so close yet ourselves. This is only South America. That is true, but once airfield is built from which honorable Japanese planes can fly, just as our Emperor, son of God, said, we will write the peace in the White House. That will not happen tonight. So let us settle down here until we can join others in the morning. We will use parachute for cover. Yes? So the gates of the area are to be open to receive us in 3 days. That is right? That is right. That was word our agent sent out. At what do you wrap, Oshima? Oh, these fools. It's so easy to deal with fools. You mean people of America? I mean all people who think they can live in peace and negotiation. There will be peace only when Japan rules the world. Oh, I'm very tired. I go to sleep. You sleep. I look around. Fools. Oshima. What is it? Come over here, Oshima. I see something. Bring binoculars. Here are binoculars. What do you see? Let me have them. Oh, I see light. What kind of light? It has brightness of the sun. Oh, it's nothing. Just fire of a native, perhaps. But can take no chances. Oh, come. We investigate it. We must kill any living thing that may interfere with great and glorious plans of Emperor Sanzai, Nippon.
And so, two of the enemy who are to take over Illyria, according to the nefarious plans of Saki and the Japanese, hurry toward the bright light of Nakoma the bird. Clark Kent, Red Peyton, and Jimmy Olsen, unaware of the new danger threatening them, lie fast asleep in their lean-to. What will happen to them? To find out, listen tomorrow to the next thrilling episode in The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Follow The Adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the makers of that super delicious cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publication. This is Mutual.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars. We take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett. Space Cadet. over the dense jungles of the Amazon, a Solar Guard jet ship blasts through the stratosphere. Aboard the speeding craft, Cadets Tom, Corbett, and Roger Manning, accompanied by Sally Wood, are on their way to Amazon City to try to clear themselves of charges that have made them fugitives from the Solar Guard.
Hey, Tom, something's coming in on the radio. I'll bet it's Captain Strong. He must have received our message, Roger.
It sounds like nothing but static to me.
Well, it's coded, Sally. Our Solar Guard code. Here, I'll set the scrambler. Come on, Roger, clean it up. We're getting close to Amazon City. Yep. There. I've got the right setting now.
Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Come in. Come in.
Tom Corbett here. Go ahead, sir.
Where in the universe are you?
Near Amazon City, sir. Did you get the message I piped to you?
Yes, and I was certainly relieved to hear from you. There's a dead or alive warrant out for your arrest.
We know it, but I explained what happened. You believe us, don't you, sir?
I do, Tom, but the orders for your arrest can't be officially canceled until there's been a hearing. So, as far as the Solar Guard is concerned, you and Manning are still fugitives.
That's all right with us, sir. I think it will help us to get those plans from Anders.
Now, listen carefully, Tom. I can be in Amazon City by noon tomorrow. I'll come out of the Solar Guard headquarters building at exactly that time. You and Manning watch for me from across the boulevard.
Right, sir.
I'll get on the northbound slidewalk. You two follow me on the opposite side, and we'll meet at the first changeover junction. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Tom, look at the radar screen.
Great Jupiter. Those are Solar Guard interceptors.
And they're after us.
Tom, what's going on?
Solar Guard ships. We've got to duck them. See you in Amazon City tomorrow, sir. End transmission.
Tom, can't we outrun them?
I'm wide open now, and they're gaining.
What will they do?
Blast us out of the sky if they can. They're firing now.
That was close.
That one hit us.
Hold her steady, Tom.
I can't. The controls don't answer.
Look out. Pull up or we'll crash.
I'm doing my best.
We're headed straight for the jungle.
Hang on, Sally.
Watch it. Brace yourselves. We're going to hit.
Brother, I never thought we'd walk out of that one alive.
Oh, it was a beautiful landing, Tom.
Lucky we found that clearing. We just managed to shoehorn in.
Look out. A Solar Guard jet. Hit the dirt.
Did they see us?
I don't know, but we can't stay here now. They'll drop a detail of parapolice down to investigate.
Yeah, we'll have to start moving.
But where can we go?
I noticed a house from the air. It's over there beyond that next hill.
Okay, any port in a storm. Let's hike. Say, look at that place. What a joint.
Why would anyone in his right mind build a mansion like that out here in the jungle?
Well, look, they have an air car. See it parked over there?
Yeah. Maybe we can get a lift to Amazon City, Tom.
I sure hope so. That way we can meet Captain Strong and figure out a way to locate Anders before he knows we're on his trail.
Tom, look. There's someone coming out of the house.
Well, maybe he'll help us out. Hello there.
Well, hello.
Offer to pay him for the lift, Tom. I've still got some of those credits left.
Was that your jet that crashed from the other side of the hill?
That's right, sir.
We're lucky we're still alive.
Indeed you are, Miss Wood.
What? How did you know my name?
Let me introduce myself. I'm Wayne Anders.
Anders?
That's right. And believe me, I'm most happy to offer you the hospitality of home. I insist that you stay with me for a long time.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, if you want to start out tomorrow ready for action, you just hurry on down to the breakfast table first thing in the morning. When you get there, eat the breakfast cereal that's tops with the Cadets at Space Academy. Open up a package of Kellogg's Pep and pour out a bowl full of good eating. Right at the first swell-tasting spoonful, you'll say, Jumping Jupiter. No wonder Astro, Tom, and Roger go for Kellogg's Pep. This is great. And you know, besides rating ace high for flavor, Kellogg's Pep gets you set for a real energy send-off in the morning. When you rocket off to school or out to play, Kellogg's Pep helps you to travel at full space speed. Pep gives you other important food values, too,
Food values that help you build strong bones, strong teeth, strong muscle. Ask your mom to set you up with Kellogg's Pep every morning. Then you'll be starting the day just like Tom, Astro, and Roger. And whether you're heading out to Saturn's rings or down to the field for a ball game with your pals, remember, start your day the spaceman's way with a build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
When Tom, Roger, and Sally Wood survive the crash of their jet in the Amazon jungle, they stumble upon a big house hidden deep in a steaming valley. But when they seek help there, they are confronted by Wayne Anders, the man they have been hunting down. Now, some hours later, in the basement of the mansion.
Of all the rotten breaks, we ran right into that space creep's hands.
I'm more worried about Sally, Roger. I wish Anders hadn't separated us from her.
Yeah, the poor kid must be scared to death.
We're in a real tight spot. Unless we can find a way out of this hole, we won't meet Captain Strong in Amazon City.
Oh, we might as well forget about that. Just look at this place. Bars on all the windows, and the only way out is that steel door that leads upstairs.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
Roger, do you have any money?
Yeah, some of those credits left, but...
No, not paper money. I need change. Small change.
Oh, well, let's see. Yeah.
Now, let me have that dime.
Here.
Uh-huh. Thanks. Now, let's see.
Hey, what are you fooling around with that ventilator duct for?
This may be our way out. This is part of the air conditioning system. So this duct must lead to a vent upstairs somewhere. And it's big enough to crawl through.
Hey, maybe you got something.
Now, if I can only loosen these screws, we can pull the screen off.
Here, let me help you.
Well, I'm getting this one.
Well, I'll work on this side.
I figure we can lift this whole section out. Then crawl up the duct and force open a grate upstairs.
With our luck, we'll probably wind up right in Anders' lap.
It's a big house. He can't be everywhere. There. This side's loose.
Just a couple more turns over here. That does it.
Good. We've got it. Help me ease the screen off.
Okay. Now, with any kind of a break, we'll be out of here in no time.
Okay, Roger. There's no one in the hall. Crawl out, quick.
I'm sure glad to get out of that dustbin.
Hey, look. Over there on that table.
A portable shortwave set. Hey, our luck's changing.
We'll take it along. And as soon as we're clear of this place, we'll contact Captain Strong.
Wait a minute. What about Sally?
We'll try to find her right now. Come on. Through this archway. Come on. Hey, what in blazes? It's an alarm. We must have walked through the beam of an electric eye. Yeah, there it is in the archway.
Blast it. Now we'll have the whole house on our necks.
Come on, we've got to get out of here.
But where'll we go?
The jungle. It's our only chance. Step on it.
Hey, Tom, can't we hold up for a minute? I'm beat.
Okay, Roger. We'll take 5, but no more.
We must have shaken them. We've used every trick in the book.
I don't see how they can pick up our trail for hours now.
Say, don't you think we ought to raise Captain Strong on that shortwave set you took?
Good idea. Well, it works all right. So far, so good.
Well, get to work.
Calling Solar Guard headquarters in Amazon City. Calling Amazon City Solar Guard headquarters. I'm trying to contact Captain Strong. Come in if you read me. Cadet Tom Corbett here.
Corbett, I have a message for you, Corbett. Come in.
Hey, that's Anders' voice.
Blast it.
Go ahead, answer him. Maybe he wants to make a deal.
I hear you, Anders. What do you want?
Your position is hopeless, Corbett. Unless you and Manning surrender at once, you'll never see Sally Wood alive.
Oh, he's bluffing. If anything happens to Sally, he'll never get the information he wants from her father.
I know, but he's in a corner now, and he's desperate.
Did you hear me, Corbett?
Yes, I hear you.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, why'd you cut off?
We're a couple of lockheads. He's using my voice to get a fix on our position.
Jumping Jupiter, I never thought of that.
Hey, listen, what's that?
Hey, don't tell me he's caught up with us already.
Well, take it easy. It's not Anders. Look.
It's like the rings of Saturn. A monkey.
Yeah. He sees us.
He's coming over this way.
Well, he won't find me here.
Oh, study your gyros. He's friendly. Just curious about us, that's all.
Well, I'm not curious about him.
Well, come here, fella. Now, don't be afraid. We won't hurt you.
Hey, what do you know? He's as tame as a kitten.
I told you. He just wants to make friends.
Hey, what in the universe?
He just wants to try on your hat.
Come on, give it back. Okay, we won't fight over it. Keep it.
He looks better in it than you do, Roger.
Hey, what's eating him now?
Roger, look. Over there, the way those bushes are moving.
It's Anders. He's caught up to us again. Let's blast! Okay, Tom. Slow down. I think we've lost him again.
Damn. I only saw Anders.
Well, he had his stooge with him. Juan. The one who locked us in the basement.
Oh. Here comes our old pal, the monkey. He certainly didn't lose us.
You know, Tom, I still can't figure out how Anders tracked us so fast.
Yeah, just what I've been wondering. Even if he got a fix on the set when I was talking to him, there just wasn't time.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's have another look at that set. Some of those babies have concealed tracer beam senders on them.
You're right, Roger. It's here. A UHF sender.
And we've been carrying it around with us the whole time.
All Anders had to do was monitor it and follow the beam, which means we haven't lost Anders. He may not be far behind us.
Well, go on, smash it.
No. Hold it a minute. I've got a better idea. If Anders wants to follow this set, we'll let him.
What do you mean, Tom?
Well, there's no time to explain now, Roger. Just watch me. Mr. Anders is going to have a long walk for himself.
Over this way, Juan. According to the monitor, we're closing in.
We have been close to them before, Senor Anders.
We'll get them this time. I think they're lost. They've been traveling in a circle for the last half hour.
Sir, look. The other side of the clearing. Something moved.
There they are. Shoot!
Oh, Senor, he's only a monkey.
With a shortwave set on its back.
They have tracked us. They have escaped.
Not yet, they haven't. They're either headed back for the house to get the girl or for Amazon City to contact Captain Strong.
But which?
Listen, Juan. I'm going back to the house and guard the girl. You go ahead to Amazon City. You can still beat them if you take the lower trail.
Si, senor.
Find those cadets before they reach Captain Strong. And shut them up for good.
Well, there's Solar Guard headquarters across the boulevard, Roger. But I don't see any sign of Captain Strong.
What time is it, Tom?
3 minutes after 12.
Blast it. Maybe we've missed him.
That's what I'm beginning to wonder. No. Now, there he is now, coming down toward the slidewalk.
Come on, let's get on the northbound walk on this side. We're to meet him at the changeover point.
Right. The captain just stepped on the northbound walk on his side. Hop aboard, Roger.
Go ahead, I'm right behind you. Hey, Tom, don't look now, but we're being tailed.
What?
It's that Juan character that works for Anders. He just boarded this slidewalk.
Uh-oh. Anders must have sent him to keep us from meeting Captain Strong.
What can we do? The minute we're clear of this crowd, he'll probably blast us.
We've got one chance. Listen, when we reach the junction, get off the slidewalk and duck down behind the wall right next to the exit.
I get it. When he steps off the slidewalk after us, we nail him.
That's it. We each grab an arm, but try not to attract any attention.
Maybe we can hustle him into the monorail terminal before he knows what's happening.
We'll try it. Watch it, Roger. Here's the junction. Step off. Down behind this wall, quick.
Here he comes.
Nail him! Okay, mister, in here.
What? Let go of my arms. Let go.
Move and keep your mouth shut.
You cannot do this to me.
You want to bet, senor?
Enter the terminal, quick, Roger. Now, up against that wall, Buster, and hold still.
Let me go or I call for help.
Just try it. I'll push my fist clean down your gullet.
I hope Captain Strong saw where we went.
Yeah, I was counting on him taking it from here.
Here he comes, Roger, right on course as usual.
You cannot hold me here.
Cut your jets, mister. We're giving the orders now.
What's going on here?
This is one of Anders' men, sir, sent to intercept us.
That is a lie. I am an innocent citizen. I demand my rights.
Now, you'll get your rights in court. These cuffs ought to hold you.
No.
Now, you just stand there and keep quiet.
Si, senor.
Now then, what gives with you two? Where's Miss Wood?
She's still a prisoner in the Anders place, sir. We had to run for
Well,
it.
then we've got to get her out of there. I'll order a detachment of men.
No, sir, that won't work. If Anders finds out the Solar Guard is after him, he might kill Sally.
Let Tom and me go back there, sir.
We know the layout of his place now. We can take him by surprise and then wait for the Solar Guard to move in for the arrest.
That might be the best plan. All right, carry on. I'll take this man back to headquarters and then arrange for a detail to follow you. Oh, one thing more.
Yes, sir?
Stay clear of any Solar Guard units. You're still fugitives, and we can't broadcast a retraction without alerting Anders.
Don't worry, Captain. We'll be careful.
Yeah, extra careful.
We're almost there, Roger. As soon as we cross that gorge, we'll be inside of Anders' place.
Then the real fun starts.
Great galaxy! Hit the dirt!
Oh, brother, those guys are close.
Try to crawl over this way, Roger. There's a big log to our left.
Tom, we're surrounded. Anders must have been tipped off.
They're not Anders' men, Roger.
What?
They're Solar Guards. See them over there?
By the moons of Jupiter, you're right, Tom.
This is one for the books. We're trying to save Sally Wood, and we're going to be knocked off by our own men, the Solar Guard.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, spaceman, how are you coming along with your collection of Space Cadet picture cutouts? You know, you can get as many as 4 different Space Academy favorites, full-length pictures of Astro, Roger, Tom Corbett, and Dr. Joan Dale. These picture cutouts are swell for making Space Cadet settings. Just imagine one of the exciting adventures the Space Cadets have been on. You draw a picture of it and put the cutouts right on the setting. You can even make a stage and have the picture cutouts reenact all your favorite Space Cadet adventures. If you haven't got Space Cadet picture cutouts yet, you want to start your collection right away. Ask your mom to get you a regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep. Look on the back of the package, and right there, you see your own Space Cadet cutout. It's a full-length picture made from an actual photograph. Each cutout shows you an official Space Academy uniform, too. Cut the picture out of the box, make a little stand for it, and you're all set for a Space Cadet adventure. At the same time, you'll be all set to dish out the best-tasting wheat flakes that ever got covered with milk and sugar. Pep gives you that tasty whole wheat and malt flavor that just tops everything. And remember, there's a Space Cadet picture cutout on the back of every regular-sized package of Pep. So don't delay. Ask for the Build-Up Wheat Cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Meeting Captain Strong in Amazon City and arranging for a rescue party, Tom and Roger proceed alone toward Anders' hideout in the jungle. Their plan is to free Sally Wood before Anders can carry out his threat to kill her. But the boys walk right into an ambush and are pinned down by the blazing guns of a Solar Guard patrol.
We're trapped, Tom. They've got us surrounded. There's only one thing left to do, Roger. We'll have to surrender and try and convince the officer in charge that we're no longer fugitives.
But suppose we can't convince him.
It's either that or be blasted. Here, let me get my shirt off.
Careful, Tom. Keep low.
Now, I'll just put this shirt on the end of a stick and wave it over our heads.
Come on, hurry up.
Here goes.
Say, they stopped firing.
All right, you two. Stand up so we can see you. Now keep your hands on your head. Stand still.
Okay, we're not moving.
That's Corbett and Manning?
Yes, sir.
I'm Lieutenant Blake of the Solar Guard. You're under arrest.
You're making a mistake, Lieutenant. We've been cleared of all charges.
Knock it off, mister. I'm taking you in.
Sir, you've got to listen. We're trying to get to the Anders house beyond that gorge. A girl's life depends on it.
You two are going back to Amazon City with me. Guards, take these men to the plane.
Where is your plane, sir?
On the other side of the gorge, across that bridge.
Thank you. Come on, Roger.
What's wrong with you, Tom? We've got to get away.
We're going to. When we get in the middle of that bridge.
You mean jump into the water?
Yes.
Hey, that's a long drop.
All the better. When we hit the water, we'll stay under and swim for the bank. There's plenty of cover there.
Do you think we can reach the Anders house before they catch up with us?
It's worth a try, isn't it?
I suppose so. Okay, we're over the water. Ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
They're trying to escape. Cut them down. Wood, I'm afraid I have some very unpleasant news for you. Those friends of yours, the cadets, have reached Amazon City and have reported your capture.
Oh, I knew they'd do it. I knew they'd help me.
You're wrong. Now I have no choice but to kill you.
No, let go of me. No.
Sorry, Miss Wood, but under the circumstances...
Circumstances have changed, pal.
What?
Watch it, Tom. He's got a gun.
It won't help him.
Nice work, Tom. He's all racked up for the freezer.
Better grab his gun.
Sure thing.
Oh, Tom, Roger, I thought...
Easy does it, Sally. Everything's going to be okay now.
Yeah, the skipper's on his way out with a detachment of men. He'll mop up Anders' whole mob.
What about the plans? Are they still in the house?
Yes. In the safe upstairs. I know exactly where they are.
Good. Well, I guess we can relax until the skipper gets here.
Great idea. Come on, Sally. You sit over here with me. I've got a lot of things to tell you.
Oh, no. Not again.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris rockets beyond Pluto to meet danger in deep space. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Ivor Francis, Grant Sullivan, and Rosemary Rice. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's. Because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from...
Worried about the price of butter and eggs? Fed up with a housing shortage? Want to get away from it all?
CBS offers you Escape.
You're alone and unarmed in the green hell of a Caribbean jungle. You're being trailed by a pack of fiercely hungry dogs and a mad hunter armed for the kill. A mad hunter who believes that you, a human being, are the most dangerous game.
The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Escape, produced by William N. Robeson and directed tonight by Richard Sanville. Escape, carefully planned to free you from the four walls of today, free you for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to an island in the Caribbean and the weird sportsmanship of a madman, as Richard Connell tells it in his unforgettable story, The Most Dangerous Game.
My name is Rainsford. You may have heard of me.
I make my living hunting big game for many of the major museums of the world, guiding parties of sportsmen on safari in Africa, Tibet, and South America. Perhaps you've had occasion to run across some of my books. But even if you have, there's one incident you won't find described in them. The full story of my most terrible hunt. It all began on board a private yacht en route to Rio. Whitney, my host, and I were smoking our pipes on deck, lounging back in steamer chairs, enjoying the sensuous drowsiness of the warm night.
Good dinner, eh?
Excellent. Afraid I ate too much, though.
Care for some gin rummy?
Oh, no, I don't care to move.
All right. There's a rather large island off there to the right somewhere. It's something of a mystery.
Really? Oh, I didn't know. What island is it?
The old charts call it Shiptrap Island. Suggestive name, isn't it? Sailors have a curious dread of the place. Some superstition.
I can't see it.
Well, you have good eyes, but even you can't see 4 miles or so through a moonless Caribbean night.
No, not even 4 yards. It is dark, isn't it?
It'll be light enough in Rio. Oh, by the way, hope the guns have come from Purdy's. We should have some good jaguar hunting up the Amazon. Great sport, hunting.
Best in the world.
Yeah, for the hunter, not for the jaguar.
Oh, why not? They've no understanding.
Well, even so, I rather think they understand one thing. Fear. The fear of pain, the fear of death.
Huh? Oh, Rod Whitney. Who cares how the jaguar feels?
Perhaps the jaguar does.
Oh, you're a big game hunter, not a philosopher. Look, the world is made up of 2 classes. The hunter and the hunted. We're lucky enough to be the hunters. Do you think we've passed that island yet?
Yeah, can't tell in the dark. I hope so.
Why?
Oh, the place has a reputation. A bad one.
Cannibals?
Hardly. Even cannibals wouldn't live in such an isolated spot. But it's gotten into sailors' legends somehow. Did you notice? The crew seemed jumpy today.
Yes, they were a bit strange now that you mention it.
Yes, it's a sort of dread, a kind of mental chill. I'll be hanged if I haven't felt it myself.
Oh, pure imagination. Well, one superstitious sailor can infect a whole ship's company with his fear.
Maybe. Well, sometimes sailors have an extra sense which tells them when they're in danger. Well, enough of that. I think I'll turn in.
I'm not sleepy. I'll just have another pipe.
Well, good night, then. See you in the morning.
Yes. Good night, Whitney. It was very dark. So dark I could have slept without closing my eyes. The night would have been my eyelids. I puffed at my pipe, got drowsy. Then I was wide awake. A gun out there in the water, a gun. I sprang to the rail, strained my eyes in the direction of those shots, but I couldn't see a thing. I leaped up on the rail to get better elevation, and my pipe, striking a rope, was knocked out of my mouth. I lunged for it, and tight fingers closed around my heart as I realized I'd reached too far and lost my balance. The blood-warm waters of the Caribbean closed over my head. When I came to the surface, the wash from the speeding yacht slapped salt water into my mouth, making me gag and strangling me. I coughed and spat it out and found my voice. Help! 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 The lights from the boat moved steadily away. They quickly became faint fireflies. And then they were blotted out by the night. I struggled out of my clothes and turned to the direction from which I'd heard those shots. I began swimming. Slowly, conserving my strength. For an endless time, I fought the sea. Then I began to count my strokes. Thought I could possibly do another 100 before I... Someone was shooting game. Almost at my very elbow, it seemed. Gave me fresh vitality. I swam toward the sound. Then I was in the breakers. In another moment, I was dragging myself from the swirling waters, pulling myself hand over hand onto the narrow beach, gasping, panting for breath. I saw that the dense jungle came down to the edge of the cliff, and I was on land, on blessed land, safe on the soft, warm sand. I awoke late in the afternoon, the sharp hunger picking at me. As I slowly came to my feet, I saw, not far from where I'd been lying, signs of a terrible struggle in the underbrush that sloped so sharply to the beach. Some wounded thing, evidently a large animal, had thrashed about there in its death fight. And almost at my feet was a small glittering object, an empty cartridge from a .22. That was odd. The hunter had had his nerve to tackle a large brute with so small a gun. I examined the ground closely and found what I'd hoped for. The print of hunting boots. They pointed up toward a recess in the cliff, and I hurried quickly after them, for night was beginning to settle on the island. It was already dark when I came upon it. First, I thought it was a village. There were so many lights. But as I came closer, I saw that all the lights were in one building, a chateau on a high bluff. In a few moments, my bare feet were padding up stone steps, and I stood in front of the massive oaken door. Good evening. Oh, please don't be alarmed. There's no need for that gun. I'm no robber. It sounds silly, but I fell off a yacht. My name is Sanger Rainsford of New York City. He was certainly not alarmed by me, this giant who stood facing me. The revolver in his hand continued to point steadily at my chest, and the man behind it was solidly built and black-bearded to the waist, and silent. He waved me in with the gun and closed the door behind me. I was in a huge hall, but there was no time to look around. Another man was coming down the broad marble stairs, an erect, slender man in evening clothes. I stepped toward him. I've just been explaining to this chap that I've had an accident. My name is Sanger Rainsford.
It is a great pleasure and honor to welcome Mr. Rainsford, the celebrated hunter, to my home.
Well, thank you.
I've read your book on hunting snow leopards in Tibet. I'm General Zarov.
Believe me, General, I'm very happy to see you.
All right, Ivan, you can put down that gun. This gentleman is a guest. Ivan is an incredibly strong fellow, but he has the misfortune to be a mute. A simple thing, but a bit of a savage.
I'm even happy to see him.
Come, we should not be chatting here. You want clothes, food, rest. You shall have them. This is a most restful spot.
I can't tell you how grateful I am.
It is my pleasure. Follow Ivan, if you please, Mr. Rainsford. I was about to have my dinner, but it can wait. I think my clothes will fit you.
I followed the man into a huge beam-ceiling bedroom with a canopied bed large enough for 6 men. Ivan silently laid out an evening suit, and as I put it on, I noticed it came from a London tailor. And Whitney'd call this place too isolated even for cannibals. I went downstairs and sat down opposite Zarov in a dining room that suggested a baronial hall of feudal times. The food was excellent.
Perhaps you were surprised that I recognized your name, but I read all books on hunting, published in English, French, and Russian. I have but one passion in life, and that is the hunt.
Why, I notice you have some wonderful heads here. Well, that Cape buffalo over there is the largest I've ever seen.
Oh, that fellow. Yes, he charged me, threw me against a tree, fractured my skull. But I got the brute.
I've always thought the Cape buffalo the most dangerous of all big game.
No, the Cape buffalo is not the most dangerous.
No?
Here in my preserve on this island, I hunt more dangerous game.
What, is there big game on this island?
The biggest.
Really?
Oh, it is not here naturally. I had to stock the island.
Well, what have you imported, General? Tigers?
No. Hunting tigers ceased to interest me when I exhausted their possibilities. There is no thrill left in tigers, no real danger. I live for danger. Cigarette, Mr. Rainsford.
Please.
We will have some capital hunting, you and I.
But what game?
I'll tell you. You will be amused, I know. I think I may say in all modesty that I have done a rare thing. I have invented a new sensation. May I pour you another glass of port?
Thank you.
I have been a hunter all my life. But after many years of enjoyment, I found that the hunt no longer fascinated me. It had ceased to be what you call a sporting proposition. I always got my quarry. Always. And there is no greater bore than perfection.
Then you were a very good hunter, General.
No. I had merely discovered that the animal has nothing but his legs and his instincts. Instinct is no match for reason. When I realized this, it was a tragic moment for me. As I told you, I loved to hunt. And then it came to me as an inspiration what I must do.
And that was?
I had to invent a new animal to hunt.
A new animal? Why, you're joking.
I assure you I am not, sir. A new animal, and so I found one. I bought this island, built this house, and here I do my hunting. The island is perfect for my purpose. There are jungles with a maze of trails in them, hills, swamps.
And the animal, General Zara?
It supplies me with the most intense excitement of all. I never grow bored now, for I have a quarry with which I can match my wits. An ideal quarry, with courage, cunning, and above all, reason.
But no animal can reason.
My dear fellow, there is one that can.
I can't believe you're serious. What is some grisly joke?
Of course I'm serious. I'm speaking of hunting.
You're speaking of murder.
Surely your experiences in the
Did
war...
not make me condone cold-blooded murder.
I'll wager you'll forget your notions when you go hunting with me. Why, you've a genuine new thrill in store for you, Mr. Raines.
Thank you. I'm a hunter, not a murderer.
Oh, dear me, that unfortunate word again. But I hunt the scum of the earth, sailors from tramp ships, lascars, mongrels...
Where do you get them?
This island is called Ship Trap. There is a row of lights out there on the reef which indicate a channel where there is none, only rocks. I control the lights from my tower.
You wreck their ships and then you shoot down the men.
Oh, but I treat my visitors with every consideration. They get plenty of good food and exercise. They get into splendid physical condition. You shall see for yourself tomorrow. Would you like some more port, please?
What shall I see tomorrow?
We'll visit my training school. It's in the cellar. I have about a dozen there now. Sailors. Inferior lot, I regret to say. More accustomed to the deck than the jungle. Ivan, we'll have our coffee now. Thick Turkish coffee, Mr. Rainsford. Very good.
No.
Is your appetite quite gone?
No coffee, thank you.
Just one, Ivan. It is a game, you see. I suggest to one of them that we go hunting. I give him 3 hours start. I am to follow, armed only with pistol of smallest caliber and range. My quarry eludes me for 3 whole days. He wins the game. If I find him, he loses.
And if he refuses to be hunted?
Well, I give him the option. If he won't hunt, I turn him over to Ivan here. Ivan once served as official executioner to the great white Tsar, and he has his own ideas of sport. Invariably, they choose the hunt.
And if they win?
To date, I have not lost. I don't wish you to think me a braggart. Once did almost win. Eventually, I had to use the dogs.
The dogs?
Yes. Just step over here to the window a moment. I want you to see my courtyard. Go ahead, Mr. Rainford. Open the window, please. And I have a dozen, as you can see. They are let out at 7 every night. If anyone should try to get into my house or out of it, well, it would be regrettable. And now I want to show you my new collection of heads. Will you come with me to the library, please?
I hope you'll excuse me tonight. I'm really not feeling at all well.
Oh, I am sorry. You need a good, restful night's sleep. Tomorrow you'll feel like a new man, and then we'll hunt. I wonder at the promising prospect.
But I was already hurrying from the room and up the marble stairway. I heard him calling after me.
Sorry you can't go with me tonight. I expect rather fair sport, a big, strong native from west coast of Africa. He looks resourceful.
The bed was good. I was tired, but I didn't sleep. I didn't toss or turn. I didn't move. I just lay rigidly in one spot, my eyes on the ceiling, my arms tight against my side, my breathing slow and heavy, my mind empty, waiting.